Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the WebDM Twitch channel. We are here with a charity one-shot today, benefiting some Austin charities for COVID relief. There's the Foundation's Communities Emergency Relief Fund and the Austin EMS Relief Fund. And we'll give you some more details about how you can donate to those in just a minute. But in addition to those, Monte Cook Games, who we're using a book written by them, Arcana of the Ancients. And so Monte Cook Games is donating all sales of Arcana of the Ancients that are bought today to the charities, as well as giving you guys a code for 10% off all sales, anything you buy for the next week. And that code is WebDM, WEBDM, no space. Excuse me. So I think in the interest of getting to the action, let's go ahead and have our players introduce each other, or themselves rather, not each other, because that might be odd, and give us an idea of who you are, what character you're playing, and all that stuff. And Margaret, why don't we start with you?
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hi, I am Margaret Krohn, and you can find me at Margaret Krohn in all the places. I do lots of RP stuff on the internet, so if you want to check that out. And I also make my own tabletop RPGs, so come check those out if you're interested. Beyond that, I also make video games for a living. I currently work on a project called Ashes of Creation, if you want to check that out. But beyond that, what we're doing here today, I'm playing Octavia, and she is a protector ASMR cleric, and I'm very excited. She's got kind of a little bit of a haunted past, and there's a spirit that has been not being so kind to her and has kind of ruined one of her relationships as well. So she's lost her love in this. People think she's a little crazy. So she is trying to find out where this spirit has come from and banish them back to whence they came.
Very good, very good. Pruitt, why don't you go ahead and take the next one?
Hey everyone, you know me. I'm Pruitt, one half of WebDM. Jim's other better half, least best half. Just want to give Emma the props. And hope everybody's having a good day today. This is a really good charity to be donating to. I, of course, live in Austin. I work at one of the busiest hospitals in Austin, and this year has been absolute hell. If you don't think this is real, I'll slap you in the face. But I don't want to break Twitch's violence rules, though. But I will be playing today Soul of the Night, a half-drow edgelord gothboy who is from a far traveler from the other side of the land between two rivers. And his order knows of an ancient time when this land was covered in darkness, and their goal is to bring about the midnight sun, as they call it, which is to return the drow to their night living ways. And you know, you heard some news to come to this area and find somebody, and that's what he's doing. So let's see what happens.
Very good.
You guys are missing out. He had this like wig that was going over his face before. It was so good.
I'll do it for just like 2 seconds, but
yeah,
like,
do it. You gotta do it for 2 seconds. I feel like the internet needs to feel this.
It really sells it.
5 minutes into rules explanation, I was like, I gotta take this off.
When he joined the call, I was like, yes. I was so into it.
All right.
But if you want to continue on.
All right. Bruce, you're up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Bruce Cordell. I write RPGs for a living. I actually work at Monte Cook Games. You can find me online at Twitter. I have a Patreon for writing novels to kick me in the ass to get those novels written without an actual deadline. Today I am playing Zeruach. I'm a Goliath wizard, and that's a little unusual, I imagine, but there was a wizard who was my mentor named Umeli, and she is in this area, and I've been pursuing signs and portents of her, and apparently she's gone missing a few years ago, so hopefully we can locate her here in these weird hills where people have strange and undisquieting dreams.
Certainly. And for those of you who may or may not know,
God.
Bruce is responsible for opening a portal to the Far Realm, which has since infected all of us. And so anybody who has problems with the Far Realm, you can take it up with him. It's fine. Lysa, why don't you close this out?
Sorry, I'm just taking a moment to appreciate Pruitt's beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
We need to
appreciation.
see
Very
it.
nice. Very nice.
I am Lysa Penrose. During the day, I am the brand manager for a publishing platform called Dungeon Masters Guild. And I'm also a D&D writer, host, and I'm a streamer of all sorts of witchy things over on my own Twitch. But today, I am playing Courage the Kobold, who is an accidental folk hero of the local village. Like, imagine this little kobold merrily pushing a mine cart back to the village one day, completely blissfully unaware that it is being raided by bandits. She trips and falls, and the mine cart just like wipes all of them out. And now all of a sudden, she's expected by the village to do heroic things. That is Courage's story.
Certainly. Very nice. Very nice. And of course, I am Jim, the other half of WebDM, and I'll be y'all's dungeon master for today as you navigate this strange and wonderful land. I don't really know what else to say about myself other than I'm here. I don't really have any projects going on that I can talk about. I'm on the internet, there's that YouTube channel we have. But I am really excited to return to the Land Between Two Rivers, excuse me, which is my homebrew setting. That's kind of a gonzo science fantasy post-apocalyptic funhouse that pretty much exists to throw all of my nostalgic Saturday morning cartoon ideas into, engage in a little Mad Max behavior, and basically just trash as much as possible. All one-shots that I play are canon in the world. So whatever happens here today will exist for future games, no matter how I run them. Most one-shots tend to have great significance for the world and have featured things like the destruction of major settlements, the elimination of major NPCs, opening up of fiendish invasions, and today's adventure will be no less momentous and ominous repercussions for the setting. So that's just kind of give you guys an example of what we may or may not be getting to. And here we go. Just give me a second and I'll be able to attend more to the task at hand. So before we started and went live, our players rolled up some ciphers. Now, if you're not familiar with either Arcana of the Ancients or its inspiration, the Numenera system and setting for Monte Cook Games, ciphers are single-use items of an unknown but wondrous origin. They're a way to give the players a sort of unique power that they can use once and then not have to worry about keeping track of it, or the dungeon master have to worry about how unbalancing it may or may not be for their campaigns. For every $15 that you donate today, we will roll on the cipher table, and the group will then decide who gets the cipher, who might use it best or could make use of it. Excuse me. So keep that in mind in terms of donations. And for every $100 of donations, we will be drawing a card from the Invisible Sun Soothe deck, which sort of provides an overlay for how magic is interpreted and other supernatural effects. It may or may not be detrimental, may or may not be beneficial. It could be merely cosmetic. So those are a couple of ways that that you can either keep track of how much we've donated or contribute to both the game and our fundraising drive. So without further ado, let's go ahead and determine what the effects are of the ciphers we rolled up before the game started, before we really dig into it. So I believe somebody had a calm center cipher.
Yeah, I do. I don't think it really vibes with my character, but whatever,
Oh, you already looked it up?
No, I just he does not have a calm center.
Oh, so. No, he doesn't.
I feel like he needs it.
Right, yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
So yes, I do have a calm center.
Okay, this is a smooth pill of a soothing color, has an appealing fragrance to it. When ingested, you become utterly calm, emanating peace and assurance. Merely being near you is relaxing and inspiring. All creatures within a 60-foot radius, that's a 60-foot radius, centered upon you gain advantage on one roll of their choice within the next minute. So that would count you as well. Yeah. And then after a minute, it's effect ends. So there you go.
Dang, that's nice.
And then I think the next one was a corpse likeness. Oops. And of course, my PDF. My PDF decided not to work. So yes, we've got a corpse likeness. Give me
That would
just
be
a second.
Zeruic?
Yeah, Zeruic
has
has that. I'll pull the description up here in just a sec.
I have it here if you'd like me to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Give a
Why don't you tell us what it does?
All right. It's a cipher, as you said. It's a metallic orb with several glass lenses on its surface. And the first time I activate it, I'm not going to read it all out. But basically, if I come across a corpse, I can kind of scan the corpse, and then it's stored in this thing. And then at some point later on, I can go bloop and take on the likeness of that corpse. Whatever its condition is, I could pass as a living version of that person, assuming there's not too many wounds. But if, I could also just pass as that corpse. So it's basically a visage taker that only works on dead bodies for some reason.
There you go. Excellent.
Creepy, but I love it.
Yeah, that was a real good one. All right, who was next? I think we had a teleporter bounding, and then
Yeah, and I have my book here, so I could read it.
There you go. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Courage has a teleporter of bounding. When this sparkling device, about as large as your thumb, is activated as your action, you teleport up to 500 feet to a location you can see. You arrive safely with your equipment, but cannot take anything else with you.
Excellent. Very good. And then Margaret, I forget which one we rolled up for you.
It was a wasp drone.
That's right, the wasp drone. Let's see. My computer's
Which
decided
sounds absurd.
My computer's decided it does not like opening.
My book
PDF
has not
reader.
arrived yet.
Oh no.
It's on the way though.
All right, here we go. Wasp drone. This is a fingertip-sized artificial insect made of biomechanical material. When it's activated, it responds to your voice commands and travels to a designated area that you can see within 500 feet. And then basically you have to have some kind of line of sight on that location. The drone flies to the area, moving 120 feet each round, and makes a nuisance of itself, attacking creatures randomly and generally just sort of bothering them. It dies right. It dies after 10 minutes of activity or after it makes one successful attack. I think we kind of rule that as like, how you use a familiar to just like get in a creature's face and bother, just like distract them and bother them. And so we can use it in any way that you would otherwise use that. It can make an attack, or it can just like try to crawl in their ear or something,
Okay.
however you like. I tend to play fast and loose with the rules in these kind of games, simply because we're here to enjoy ourselves, have a good time in the setting and with the characters, and not necessarily worry about too much minutia or things like that. So in the interest of our viewers, we're using a couple of house rules. Those are mostly related to theater of the mind combat, divide up the virtual battlefield, our mental battlefield, into a number of zones: melee, short range, medium range, and the like. We're using a Shadow of the Demon Lord inspired initiative in which the players always go first, and then we resolve their actions in order of how quickly it takes to resolve that action, not necessarily how fast it is in the fiction. And finally, we're using a variant of Mind for Inspiration, which essentially treats inspiration as a luck point, allowing you to re-roll, accept the two, whichever the two results it gets, or to get an automatic critical on a death saving throw, so that you can get back in the action as fast as you like. For the player's benefit, I am terrible at remembering when to hand out inspiration. So everyone is empowered to inspire themselves or someone else if something happens that's particularly in character or just, inspired. So feel free to shout that out. And we'll do, that's how we'll do it. Any questions from the players or anything before we get started?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. So the setting here is the Land Between Two Rivers. The Land Between Two Rivers takes place on the planet of Nobion, and it has undergone a series of catastrophic apocalypses sometime in its past. History is a little fuzzy, as those civilizations and peoples that are still left on the planet were not the ones that you would call the great civilizations of a traditional fantasy world. There are no humans. There are no non-drow elves. No one even knows what a dwarf is, or even heard about gnomes, halflings, and the like. those traditional monstrous humanoids or evil races that sometimes are in a fantasy setting, they're all we've got now. And so the world is left to orcs, goblins, gnolls, etc. And they try to piece together the remains of this world to scrape a life and to build something new for themselves. Most of the world is an arid desert, but not entirely. And our adventure will take place today in a kind of semi-arid, hilly country that is to the east of the largest settlement that anyone knows, called Trade Town. And to the east of there is a tiny village, Karakara. It's a little place where people can stop in, take their mind off of the daily stresses of living in a ruined post-apocalyptic wasteland, get something to eat, and in general, engage in fellowship and community with each other before they head back out into the wastes. This place is where our adventurers were initially drawn to. And they did some investigating and talking around there, looking for a particular technomage named Umeli of the Nine Hands, and investigating sort of these bizarre and strange dreams having to do with a forest of petroglyphs and mighty sort of megalithic structures somewhere underground, as well as creatures of flesh and metal and the like. For the benefit of the players, magic, it could be technology that you don't understand. It could be magic in a traditional fantasy setting kind of way. I'll leave it up to you for any supernatural powers that you have, their origin and what they look like. But it's not unknown or uncommon to find things that you just can't explain, to observe a landscape that was affected by, massively powerful and ultimately inscrutable forces. The entire world is sort of shaped by these things as related to these sort of prior apocalypses and calamities and the like. For the last few days, you've been traveling through this hill country looking for an unspecified and sort of vague location. The locals know that there are wastelanders that live out here in one of the ruins of some temple or something or other where oracles used to cast strange divinations. And it took a couple of days for you to find this place in the cracks of these oddly shaped hills. And as you made your way down through these little caverns and chasms and crevices in the earth, you find yourself in tunnels carved from a sort of a strange metallic world substance. And in fact, the corridor that you find yourself in now, it seems to be mirrored. And the mirrors of the walls have this strange light that comes through. They're not reflective of any lights that you necessarily have with you. They seem to glow with otherworldly light from inside the walls. And there's an odd melodic sort of music emanating from the place as well. It has a sort of rhythm to it and seems to repeat itself. And as you look in the mirrors around you, your reflection seems to be shifting and slightly distorted as you look at it. Furthermore, from deeper in the complex as the tunnel goes on, you can hear the shouts and sounds of battle, eerie and unnerving metallic screeches, the sound of metal on metal clashes and the like. Nothing vocal or any verbal, nothing you could understand. But it's clear that somewhere deeper inside this place, there is a struggle of combat, of violent combat even, that is going on. And so I'll leave you here to determine what you do. You are sort of in this tunnel. You can tell that it extends into the darkness some way before you and looks as though it splits into two separate passages somewhere ahead of you.
Maybe we should turn back. Another apocalypse could happen at any moment. And wouldn't it be better just to be in bed? We could just tell people we explored here.
I put my hand on courage and I'm like, it'll be okay, little one. We've come this far. Why would we stop?
Besides, the further we get away from the terrible light of the sun, the more at home I feel. And it sounds like there's pain up ahead.
Perhaps
So
we
I'm
should
drawn to
investigate
it.
the fight. Says
Something
Cerulean.
peculiar about these mirrors. She kind of looks in them.
I just feel like everyone's listing reasons to go back, but okay. And I just kind of like clutch Octavia's hand.
Oh, I hold her hand gently, and I like put my other hand over it to try to calm her.
All right. You said Octavia was looking at one of the mirrors, like studying kind of.
Yeah, I'm interested in like kind of inspecting these mirrors. I don't know if you want me to roll for that or what I see when I look into them.
No, but as you look into them, the sound of the music sort of gets louder, and it's like you're not necessarily hearing it. It's more just like you perceive it. This is the way you might describe it. It doesn't seem to be something you hear, more something you like know.
Okay. I kind of say out loud, but like quietly, kind of to herself. She's just like, if you're playing music in my head, stop it. You all hear it though.
Nothing seems to answer, but you're you think that there's like a telekinetic or sorry, telepathic.
I think it's that stupid spirit haunting me, playing music in my head.
Okay.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, I say she says it like quietly, but you can hear her.
Courage is just like, I'm not.
Oh, not you.
Something. So Octavia, you sort of understand that something could respond. It is choosing not to. Like there's like a deliberate silence after your so what you say. You know.
Okay. Then I just continue talking.
Mhm.
Oh, not you, Courage. Something else. It's playing music in my head.
And we can all hear this music, right?
Yes, everybody can hear the music. Yeah.
Playing it in my head too.
Wait, you can hear that?
Yes. Oh no. And she just starts like flailing.
I like try to calm her down. And I look to the other two and I'm like, do you hear the music as well?
I'll get closer to the mirror and attempt an intelligence arcana check to see if I can figure out any sort of magical reason these glowing mirrors might be playing music.
Certainly.
And that's a natural 20.
Hey, there you go. That's the way to start out.
My Cthulhu dice.
Yeah.
Usually I roll 1 on my very first roll if anyone knows me. So
Rilo, Phile, Cola,
yeah. So you peer into it, and perhaps Zarak knows that these hills were dotted with ruins of like monasteries and oracle sanctuaries and things like that. And you get the distinct impression that this is like a device for prophecy or casting divinations or something. And that if you wanted to, you could sort of push your consciousness deeper into it to kind of tap into a bit of that divinatory power. But right now you're not in you're sort of at the edge of it, if that makes sense. Like your consciousness is, not physically.
Sure. I will describe that. This is a divinatory tool, and I'm attempting to see what I can find out about our futures, and then I will try to press my consciousness deeper into this interface.
Okay. So in that case, make
Can
me
I give him guidance before?
Certainly. Yeah.
I touch your shoulder and I say, perhaps this will help you.
Very good. Very good.
Be careful. What you find might not be what you want to hear.
It's usually the case. So what kind of roll are you asking for? Just another Arcana check?
In this case, I'm asking for a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw, which you have the choice to fail if you wish.
Because I'll fail that.
Okay, yeah. So you allow your consciousness to be drawn deeper into this.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Yeah, it seems perfectly harmless. What could go wrong?
No.
So you are sort of drawn into this dreamlike state. And for the rest of you, Zarak just seems to be staring at the wall in kind of a daze, right? But as your consciousness travels to this place, you have a dream of sort of walking across this featureless white plain underneath a nighttime sky filled with these strange stars. They're not the stars that you recognize. And in fact, there seems to be only one moon, whereas the planet now has multiple moons that come and go. And then that vision seems to shift and go through a series of very rapid kind of staccato images. Some of them seem to be of this forest of petrified pillars. That doesn't look quite metallic, quite stone or mineral or rock, but of some sort of strange material that between the two. And then another vision of this drow woman with sort of wild white hair. She seems to be fairly old for a drow. In fact, you recognize her as your mentor, who has these sort of metallic hands of various construction floating around her. And then a sort of massive amber monolith that floats in some sort of subterranean cavern. And then you snap out of it.
I sigh and turn to the rest of you and I say, images of crazy forests. I saw Umeli. I saw a subterranean chamber where a monolith, perhaps the source of these dreams, resides. We need to find it, I say with sudden yearning.
Is there a way we could do like a history check or something to like know what maybe this monolith would, or like where it would be?
History would work. Is anyone here proficient in history? Is like Octavia or anyone else?
I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
You can attempt it, but if you're proficient, I could just give you some information that would serve as a base.
Okay.
Anyone can attempt it.
I got a 15.
17 plus or minus 2. Or yeah, minus 2. So 15.
So two 15s, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this place has a reputation for just giving people just like disturbing dreams. For the most part, these hills are avoided. And while there have been monasteries and sort of sanctuaries set up here for people who are willing to put up with those dreams, they all seem to have the same themes in common, especially this pillared forest of megalithic structures, and occasionally this sort of amber monolith, almost like an obelisk, but not quite as exact in its dimensions. Nothing about a drow woman, though.
Right. Do we think that it's in this area then that we're already in?
That's the impression that you get, and certainly Zurach, as you come out of this vision, that's your distinct impression, is that it's somewhere within these tunnels.
I grab Courage's hand, and because I know we're gonna go in, and Courage probably doesn't want to, and I look to Zurach, and I'm like, then you are right. We should continue forward.
Yeah, are y'all continuing forward?
Yes, Soul will. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I was going to say, Soul has been keeping a lookout while this is happening, slowly edging towards the sound of conflict and pain, as it calls to his soul.
Gotcha.
And he lights up a clove. You can already see the redness because he is allergic to cloves around his lips.
Thank you, Pruitt. So quick question. Anybody, I'm assuming everybody has dark vision, although I'm not sure about Goliaths or Aasimar. So if nobody has dark vision, you will need some sort of light source, as beyond this room, it is darkness. This room, it's dim light.
I have dark vision.
Okay.
I don't think that I do, unfortunately, so I created light with my cantrip. Yeah.
Okay. So is that Octavia does as well?
Yeah, why not? We both provide light for our group.
Okay. So two lights.
Sorry.
Soul's like,
And he casts dancing lights, which his light is like photo negative light, so it casts everything that it touches in black and white. And so he kind of puts that up around him as a kind of a shield almost.
I make like a little light orb, and I give it to Courage as like a like comfort light.
Courage is just like walking around, like holding the light orb, but it's also making like spooky shadows, I think.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
it
also
probably is.
scaring her more.
But it's like your own hand making the shadow.
Yeah.
It just happens to
A
accidentally like
tentacled
be in the shape
monster.
of like a creature.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so it looks like we've already got some donations so far. Thank you very much. And let's see, perhaps our manservant Hecubus, are you there? Do we need to summon you again? Perhaps you could whisper in my ear exactly what it is that we need to roll for.
I'll whisper so loudly that our good audience out there in Twitch can hear me. We need to roll up 1, 2, 3, 4 ciphers, and you're going to need to draw 3 times from the Soothe deck.
Wow. All right. Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for the support, everyone.
You guys.
You're
Also-
currently sitting at $343 in donations.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We're off to a great start here. All right. So yeah, that sounds like every one of our players gets another cipher that they can use. And go ahead and roll a D100 for each of those.
I got a
I got a
38.
34. Oh,
38.
Too excited.
So a 38 is a detonation of decoy sounds.
I got a 9.
That's going to be just a second. Ooh, a monoblade.
A 9 is a monoblade?
A monoblade. Yeah, there's 2 tables to look at if you have the PDF there. Pruitt, what did you roll up?
I got a 34.
Go ahead and make me a D20 roll as it has a subtable.
Nice. 9.
9 is going to be a detonation of frost. And then
40. 40 for Zeruic.
40.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's another D20 subtable.
16.
16 is going to be a ray emitter of force.
Cool.
And if any of our players needs me to give a description of their cipher, I can go ahead.
Ooh, please.
All right, that was the
Monoblade.
monoblade. Yes. There we go. I'm pretty sure we could suss out what exactly it is. So these ciphers are sort of things that you pick up. They're really like there's sort of debris and rubble and the like all over the place. And occasionally they simply appear in a pocket or pouch. Like you're not sure how they got on your person. So a monoblade is a stud-like injection into your fingertip that you can activate as an action. And it springs forth a 6-inch blade of force, which lasts for 10 minutes. It can cut through any non-magical material that is not otherwise being worn or carried, ignoring its AC. And if used as a weapon, you can treat it as a dagger that deals slashing damage. If you crit with it, it will do an extra 11 points of damage. And you then roll another D20. And if for whatever reason you roll a 20 on that one, you can lop off a target's limbs. So it has a chance to sort of double critical if you hit with it. So maybe it's like an itching in your finger that you notice or something. Anybody else need a quick description?
I'm just going to quickly describe the detonation of decoy sounds. It's basically a thing I can throw, and it either plays a pre-recorded sound or something I've recorded. So it's basically like a yak back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Nobody else needed a description there.
I assume that mine is, a detonator of frost. We can figure out when I throw it.
Yeah.
My ray emitter of force.
It's a grenade of
similar
cold.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Mine is more of a single attack,
Yeah. Okay.
a distance.
Gotcha. Let's see. So as far as the soothe cards go, the soothe is one of them is an assassin soothe card, and a feeling of sort of betrayal and of sort of duplicity kind of just passes over everyone. And for the time being, we'll just have all three of these come into play at once. For the time being, you will have advantage on any one roll related to finesse, stealth, or betrayal. So that's the first one here. It may or may not have some effect on your magic or any NPCs that you might meet before we roll another. And let's see, the next one. The next one is the devil.
It's a close personal friend.
Right. So similarly, an advantage on a single roll related to temptation, lies, persuasion, charm, that kind of thing. And it's sort of another, the sense of ill at ease and subtlety, betrayal sort of increases as it builds up. And then let's see, finally.
Courage is just going to lose it at this point.
Yeah, right. And then the next one is the Forbidden Game. This one is related to danger, intellectual pursuits, strategy, and balance. So any attempts that are of those natures will get an advantage on a single roll. And you feel that sense of betrayal and sort of dread and sort of dread charm is very strategizing. Like as if something plots against you without you necessarily knowing what it does. All of this happens as you walk down that chamber.
Well, Jim, as we approach, I assume the sounds of combat are coming from the chamber.
So as you approach, there's like a T intersection. One pathway heads north, although you can see that it ends in a collapsed section. And then another one goes south. And as far as you can see, it looks like it ends in a chamber, but that there is a large shadow or perhaps even hole in the corridor between you and that chamber. So to the north is a collapsed tunnel, and to the south is what looks to be a pit and then a chamber beyond it. The sounds of combat persist.
But they're coming from the south?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, he'll kind of look around and be like, Courage, do you want to come and look at this with me? You look like you're...
No, Pruitt froze for me.
Oh.
Yeah, he froze for me too.
Oh, you're back. You froze for a little bit.
Oh, no. Actually, that was just me contemplating my insignificance in the universe. But do you want to come and check this out with me? I'd feel better if I had somebody with me.
Not particularly, but I can understand being scared. So let's go. And I'm going to hold your hand so that you feel safe. I'll give you the glowy ball. And I'm going to walk you down towards the shadow.
Pull more
actively
into my
perceiving and or investigating as needed to make sure we don't fall in a hole.
Certainly.
And I'm going to be sneaky with this. So
you will have advantage on that roll.
Yeah, let's be sneaks.
So first one was a 13. So that's 13 plus 4. Yes. So 17 for me.
18
17.
for courage.
17, 18. And that's a stealth and perception rolls. And how about Octavia and Zarok? Y'all hanging back? Are y'all going to stay at that intersection? What are y'all up to?
I'll hang back and watch as they like scout ahead.
Okay.
Likewise.
I got a 23 perception.
Of course you did.
So I've seen too much.
You've seen too
I
much.
also get
A
disadvantage
21
on
perception.
stuff. Dang, 21.
Nice.
Is that a non-natural?
Yeah, not natural 20. Yeah.
Nice.
Damn.
So as you get up there, first off, the sounds of battle start to fade, and then by the time you get to this sort of shadowy pit or something in the corridor, they have largely ceased. And this pit sort of like encompasses the entire width of the corridor, and it's clearly been like dug out of this. It's not like a part of the construction. You can see cobblestones and sort of like slabs of this material, jagged and pitched away. And then in the earth underneath it, for a considerable distance, about 30-ish feet, the pit descends, and you can tell that someone has like placed bits of rubble and old weapons and like makeshift spikes at the bottom of it. And there are even some skeletons down there. It looks pretty wide as well in terms of like how far to the other side of the corridor. You'd have to get at least 10 feet, but the opposing edge does not look stable.
So the pit, I mean, how deep would you say it is compared to the despair in my heart?
I don't know that anything could match the despair in your heart, soul. I'm just
answer.
not sure. Yeah.
But in feet, about how deep?
30.
Okay.
It doesn't look really stable on the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us truly are, but that's okay, Courage. Do you want to try to get across there?
Is there like a little edge between the pit and the wall where I could kind of like inch across?
A kobold could, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'd be an acrobatics,
All right.
acrobatics check to attempt that.
All right. I shall. I mean, I can try.
DC's gonna be 15.
Oh, that's exactly what I got. I got a 12 plus 3, 15.
Cool. Yeah, you inch your way along it. A couple of the stones falling after you move past them, but with your nimbleness and small size, you are able to make it to the other side.
All right. She wipes the tears from her eyes. That was so scary. And I'd like to. Can I search down the hall a little bit to see or like to perceive if there's anything else dangerous on this side, or if there's any like a plank or anything that I can use to help the others cross?
Certainly. So about the same distance as between the intersection to the pit, there's another sort of chamber from the pit to the chamber. Does that make sense? It's about the same distance between the two. You see in this room sort of a depression in the floor, a physical depression, not a spiritual or emotional one.
I've got that covered.
Right. That seems to have some sort of oily fluid in it. And then on the far wall, as you enter into the room, appears to be a large bowl with like fire marks on it and sort of charred sort of bits around it.
Oh, so nothing that looks really helpful for getting people across.
No. Although there is another exit, sort of as you come in, it's immediately to your right, sort of as you enter into that room.
Okay. I'm going to go back as close to the edge of the pit as I feel I can go before it like starts getting wobbly, and describe to Soul what I saw. But I didn't see anything to help people cross.
Interesting. Looking down in the pit, does it look like there's anything down there that might help us out?
Possibly, yeah. There are big slabs of rock. There's a lot of skeletons. Some of them are humanoid. Others look more bestial. There's just a lot of junk down there too. It looks like this has been used. Maybe it's even a trash pit, as well as a defensive mechanism.
Well, Soul feels the calling from deep down in that pit, and he's like, hang on a second, Courage, let me check something out. And he just kind of takes a step forward and just straight down.
Careful of the spikes.
You got your slow fall that'll...
Yeah, I mean, I can, if you want to roll it, or if you want me to do an acrobatics roll, I mean, I can reduce the damage by 20.
Okay. Yeah, do give me an acrobatics roll because the bottom of it is quite difficult in terms of its terrain features, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. So I rolled a 19, so that's a 25.
Yes, that beats it by 10. You land fine, no damage, no slipping, no falling. It's infuriating how graceful you are.
Yes, it annoys me too. So I'm going to start looking around down here for anything that can help, because I know I have a rope. So maybe if I can find some pitons or daggers or anything to kind of help a way across. I'm just going to look around down here. Would you like a perception or investigation?
No need. The place is littered with those kinds of things. You could easily take some of the spikes that are down there and use them for that. Now, if you're looking for something more than that, you need to roll. But if you're just looking for spikes, they're all over the place.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll go ahead and, while I'm here, if there's all this stuff, I might as well look a little deeper. Sure. Did you want perception or investigation? Just one.
Investigation for this one, please.
Okay, so it's going to be a 13.
All right. Okay, so that is going to be. Go ahead and give me a D100 roll if you don't mind, Pruitt.
It's going to be a 40.
40. You find something called an endless coil.
Oh my God. Like the despair wrapped around my heart.
Certainly. Yeah, it seems to be sort of like like a twine or some other kind of rope. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at it yet. It's sort of a thin but very obviously strong material, and it looks like it emanates from a small sort of fist-sized device. And as you check it out, it doesn't seem like it's going to end in terms of how much that there is.
Perfect. Hey, Courage.
You see like her little nose poking over the opening. Yeah.
Catch. And I'm going to hang on to the twine and throw whatever the housing is up to Courage. Hopefully it will
Her
extend
little
out.
claws are like that like bounces between her claws as she tries to catch it.
Yeah. You remember those like yo-yo balls? I don't know if you ever played with one of those when you're like.
Is that different from like a yo-yo?
Yeah, it's like a ball-shaped yo-yo.
like it sounds like it is.
Exactly what it is.
Are
Yeah.
yo-yos not ball shaped? I'm confused.
Kind of like flat.
Like completely
I guess
spherical.
they have like
Yeah, sphere. It's flat on
they're
the
like a
sides.
chubby
Yeah.
sphere, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And it seems to produce endless amounts of this very thin, very strong thread. Rope.
Interesting. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of pocket some spikes or whatever, and after I toss the end up to Courage.
Is there like
I'm
a
gonna go ahead and-
railing or something I can like wrap it around?
Not on this side.
Okay.
The nearest structure like that would be the altar that was back in the room.
Well, it is
And I'm
Plenty
gonna-
of rope. Plenty of
I'm
rope.
gonna
to
toss
use.
I'm gonna toss some spikes up next to Courage also.
Okay, cool.
Here you go. You can use these, and I'm gonna climb back up the side I jumped down on, so that
Okay.
it's already across. And then I'm gonna basically put a bunch of spikes, and then what I want to do, Courage, is just toss this ball back and forth, and we can kind of do like a grid for.
Okay.
Octavia and Zurach, while all this is going on, because it's going to take some time for Courage and Soul to set up this this support. Are y'all doing anything? Y'all just watching anything of note?
Slowly, can't help myself but creeping forward, closer and closer as this goes on, just to see if I can lend my aid. But I see that they have it well in hand, and I just watch.
Cool.
So they're within vision of us, so we can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I will start setting up a little. Maybe I don't want to do that. Actually, I will. While they're doing that, wait. How long is it going to take them? Actually, like how much time?
10 minutes about.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Enough time to cast a ritual if you wanted to.
Yeah, the ritual takes longer than 10 minutes.
Ah.
So never mind on that. Cool.
Actually, Octavia and Zurach, what are y'all's passive perceptions?
My passive perception is
11.
12.
14.
Both Soul and Courage would have disadvantage on that, so subtract 5 from y'all's.
Just
passives.
10 then.
Okay.
9.
So in that case, everyone but Saul notices that there's movement coming from that room with the altar.
Okay, I'll kind of
Courage, behind you.
Yeah, Courage is on the side that it would be. Yeah.
Look, turn.
Courage just like 180 rotates, and then slaps herself against one of the walls and like kind of creeps over to the room. Can I now purposefully look into the room to see
Certainly.
what that movement is?
Yeah.
Is that a perception check?
Yeah, give me a perception. I mean, if you're purposefully looking in and not just like, you don't even need to roll because
Oh, okay, yeah.
this
I
is
look.
more like, do you notice it while you're doing other things?
I look with my face.
Yeah, it appears some sort of wastelander, goblin sized. Not so in the setting, goblins, orcs, all that, they kind of are just come in all variety of shapes and sizes. So this is sort of a smaller wastelander, except it has some sort of like weird twisting protuberance coming out its forehead, and it ends in sort of a bulbous spherical shape.
Okay. Courage is going to be like, hey, trying to get like its attention.
Trying to get its attention.
Maybe it's friendly. Maybe it's
Sure.
a good weird bulbous shape.
Sure. It turns towards you and begins like shuffling its way down towards you in the corridor. You can tell that its eyes are closed, and they've been closed so long that they've developed a thick sort of dusty crust on them. Not like sewn shut or fused shut, but just like, sleepies that you get in your eyes, except really like dire
like,
sleepies.
Are you okay?
It's
You have
mumbling.
something on your head. Okay.
It's mumbling something.
Courage is gonna rush back and be like, and like try to start going across the grid that Soul and Courage had made.
Yeah.
There's something spooky here. I think we should turn around. It was a wastelander, but it had its eyes closed and all this stuff on its eyes. Oh, and a big thing sticking out of its forehead. And then when I get to the others, I've never seen a unicorn. And I guess it could have been one, but I don't know. And I'm just going to like climb onto Soul.
Okay.
And just cling.
Soul walks back across the grid to check out the thing.
No, what are you doing?
By this point, you all see it, and it seems to be like, not like coming down the corridor towards you, but like trying to suss out either who you are or who all's down there. It's still staying in the room. But it's not like threatening or aggressive or anything. Seems more curious at this point.
Yeah, I will. I kind of look at. Is it Zeruic, or am I pronouncing that right?
That's right, Zeruic.
Yeah, Zeruic. Yeah. I look at Zeruic and I'm like, perhaps we should probably help them. And after we've been standing there watching them for a bit, I'm gonna kind of go follow them because Courage was yelling and shouting for me.
Okay.
But at my own pace. I'm not running. It doesn't look like they're in danger, so she's taking her casual time.
Sure.
What's the situation with the rope bridge? Is it finished enough to bear weight?
Yeah, it's finished up to bear weight. Yeah, y'all can cross. As long as you're going slow, you're not trying to like run across or fight across. It's not going to take any check or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I need to make a check since I have Courage clinging to me.
Courage is like what, 15 pounds wet?
Yeah.
No, not with Courage.
Okay.
It's like you have a backpack.
Yeah.
A little gobbo backpack.
Right.
Stay with me, Courage. I might need you.
So y'all are is everyone crossing and then sort of approaching this figure?
Mm-hmm. Not out of choice.
I'm going to edge forward because it's all I know and look around the corner.
Okay. So as that's happening, Zeruic, you start getting a headache and like a distinct kind of physical pain on your forehead.
Oh.
And
is there any saving throw I can make to?
No, well, there was, but you purposely failed it. There's that. That's just sort of happening. Soul, you with Courage, and then Octavia, you're both approaching, or everyone's approaching this figure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you get closer to it, it seems to sort of like freeze up and stop. Now that it kind of gets a good look at you, and while not threatening to you, it definitely adopts like a defensive posture, like it's about to bolt or it's bracing for some kind of attack. Yeah.
Because I'm like kind of in tune with people's like emotions, and I will kind of tell everybody else like, stay back for a moment, and she'll kind of move forward and be like, it's okay, we don't mean you any harm, unless you mean to harm us.
go ahead and make me a persuasion check, of which you'll have advantage because of the soothe card.
Ooh, okay. I get a +6 to this. So we'll see. I got an 18 and a 1, so good thing I got advantage.
Yes. So yeah, as you get closer to it, it's your soothing words and,
So I got
and
like
the
a
fact
23.
that 23. The fact that none of you are like about to fight it seems to calm it down. And
Or 24. Sorry.
it doesn't seem to be able to talk. It's kind of mumbling something, but it doesn't respond to you or anything. It just more like motions you forward into this room.
Can I insight check that? I don't know how I feel about it telling me to come closer. All
Certainly.
right. Okay.
How does everybody else react while we're resolving this?
I mean, I'm just at the
18.
corner looking around, like just watching it. Yeah.
No. So you got an 18.
Mhm.
Okay. Seems non-threatening and not necessarily duplicitous. It actually seems kind of urgent,
Okay.
or like as if it's calling you to come help it or assist it.
Okay, I turn around to everybody else and I'm like, I don't think that it means to harm us. I think it needs our help. And she'll just turn around and follow it calmly.
Okay. How about everybody else?
We'll go with our companion, or at least Zeruic will.
And Soul will edge forward. Yes.
Yeah.
Courage is sitting on Soul's shoulder.
Okay. Who's in the? Give me a rough idea of like the order that y'all are in. No, I mean, I guess marching order would
I'm
be
first, I guess.
Octavia's first.
I'll be next with Courage.
Okay, Courage. And so Zeruic is there at the back. Okay.
Is Courage still on your back? Like
Yeah.
piggyback riding?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, basically.
Yoda to my Luke.
Right. So you get in the room and it wants you to follow it through the other exit out of this room. It's like urging you deeper into these tunnels.
I'll
and
follow,
chambers.
and while I'm following, I'm like looking around to see if there's anything that looks like interesting or peculiar or of use. Maybe some ciphers out there if you want to donate.
Certainly, who knows what'll happen. There's a door open that leads to another chamber after a short hallway, and you can tell that like the door to that chamber has a lot of runes or glyphs on it. And the room beyond it is sort of octagonal. It has different symbols at each one of the sides of the room. One of those symbols has what appears to be like a preserved wooden sphere, like a ball about basketball sized on it, and a further passage on the other side of that room without a door or anything, almost as if it were secret or concealed, has opened up and would otherwise lead you further in there. Looks like the goblin maybe just came through it.
I don't like this, Soul.
I would be careful, Octavia.
Yeah. Rooms with particular shapes are dangerous.
Aren't all rooms with particular shapes?
Oh, rooms are dangerous! Oh, no!
That's true.
Or perhaps all rooms have a chance of being dangerous.
Right.
It is not the room that is dangerous. It is what is inside of it.
Or what's inside yourself that you bring into the room.
This is true.
Courage is just like looking at her hands now. What's inside me?
I'm gonna follow little Gobbo Buddy.
All right. The what appears to be the sleepwalking wastelander is taking its time to get there. It's actually kind of like moving about 15 feet. So there's time to kind of like go ahead of it, look at things if you wish. Otherwise, it's making its way through that 8-sided room and it's going through the concealed door on the other side of it.
So it's a concealed door, but it has opened it. So that's why we see. Okay.
That's why you can see it. Yeah. But there's like no door frame or anything like that. It looks like it'd be flush with the wall.
Well, Zeruic can't help, but at least he's not going to touch anything or put his brain into anything like last time. But he'll check out these symbols. He has some training in Arcana, so if he twigs to
Is-
anything of
They're
interest.
runes, right? Like they're not in a language that we know.
Yeah, though they're definitely symbols. They don't appear to be in any language,
Okay.
or at least that's what you take them to be. And it seems as though there's 8 of these symbols here, and then the ball itself, like if you look at it, it's got 8 symbols on it as well. So like the ball has all of them, and each one corresponds to a side of the room.
Are there any inconsistencies with the symbol to each wall?
How do you mean?
Well, if there's a symbol on, you said there was a ball in the center?
Yeah, so this is one of those. It's first off, Pruitt. There's not a hole.
Yeah.
There's no.
No, that's all I want to avoid.
There are
It's an old
symbols.
joke.
There are symbols inlaid on the ground next to the walls,
Uh-huh.
and then the ball itself has all 8 of those symbols inscribed around it.
Mhm.
But on the wall symbols, it's just one symbol.
Right. But the ball itself, does each symbol line up with the one to each wall?
I got you.
Right now.
Yes. Yeah. There's no discrepancy between the two.
Interesting.
Can you pick up the ball? Is it fixed?
No, you can pick it up.
Zaruk picks it up,
Mhm.
and says, and I guess we've all noticed that. I don't know, how close is this wastelander to the door? I don't want to get us caught up in some sort of.
Yeah, it's from about 10 or so feet. It doesn't seem to really be paying much attention to what you do.
Well, I'll choose a symbol next to it, like on the wall next to the door it's going to, and I will try and find that symbol on the ball, and I'll press it, I'll shake it, I'll set it down with that symbol up, I'll then walk over. Just trying to see if something happens. I'll walk over towards the wall.
So as you said you sort of like set it down.
Yeah.
So as you set it down, the door begins to close.
Okay, which one? The one it's going towards?
Yeah, the one that has the conceal. Yeah, the one that's going towards.
Oh, I pick it up again.
Okay. Stops.
And I'm going to very carefully put it back where I found it.
Okay.
It's like,
Very good.
maybe we shouldn't. Sorry. I can't
When I
help
see the
myself.
door closing, I turn around and then I see him place it back, and I'm like, and then I go back. I
Pretend like I
Zaruk, did you bump your head?
Yeah, there's a big welt on Zaruk's head, like a knotty kind of just real nasty welt.
Yeah, I think I may have picked up a bug. Because this is really hurting. Anyone got any healing?
I'm gonna turn and look to examine, like, medically what is going on with his head.
Go for it.
Okay, you want me to roll for it? I see.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a medicine.
I got a 10. Well, oh no, not a 10. I got a 9, and then I have +4.
13.
So 13.
Something's coming out of his skull, and it's like you could tell it's like about to break through his skin.
Is it something I can stop?
Maybe you could try.
Push it back.
Is it all okay? What's going on?
How old are you, Zaruk? I had skin problems when I was younger.
I'm gonna touch your head, and I will use Lesser Restoration to get rid of. I'm assuming it's kind of like some kind of disease or condition. And it will get rid of either blindness, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. I don't know if one of those things, or disease.
So you get the impression as you're sort of like casting the spell and getting ready to cast it that nothing that the spell would otherwise cure is going to affect this. This doesn't seem mundane, that kind of thing that the spell would otherwise give.
Okay, so I don't have to expend it, or I expend the
Yeah, you don't
spell
have to
on it?
expend it, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm not going to have you spend the spell.
Then
on something that's not gonna happen.
as I'm starting to cast it, like I'm like pulling out some sage, and I'm like saying the words, and I'm like touching your forehead, and I'm like, I don't think anything that I can do for you will help you. When did you get this?
It started after I looked into those mirrors.
Then we should hurry.
Zaruk is at a loss to although he's trying to
I'm assuming we've adventured before, and I've always been able to heal you probably of everything, and this is probably the first time I haven't been able to.
Yeah. I mean, you get the impression that if it was a disease, you could. If it is a disease, it's probably of a sufficiently magical nature that you would need more than a lesser restoration to get rid of it. And it's around this point that Zeruic, you can start hearing the goblin. The goblin's like, we got to find help. We need to find help. The safeguard says we need to keep them out. Take them to the chief.
The goblin, he's starting to make sense, I say.
That's quite unsettling.
He says he needs help.
So I can't. I speak Goblin, so I can't understand the Goblin.
I was not saying anything.
Interesting.
Like it just is sort of like its lips kind of move, and there's like a low mumble, but nothing at all like speech.
So I will.
You can hear it fine.
Ask him why he's so frightened.
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
he
I will
need?
kind of approach this goblin, and now that he's suddenly making sense, and say, what's going on? Why do you need help? What's your concern?
It turns to you, and you can tell now it seems to be some kind of telepathy, and it's basically, excuse me, goodness, like, the safeguard says we cannot let the vault be opened. They keep trying to enter. They keep trying to take us. Come, hurry.
It's saying something is trying to safeguard a vault from being opened. I reply to my friends, and it wants our help.
Are you sure it's not talking about us?
Who's they? I say to the goblin.
Yeah.
Maybe we did just enter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I get you. There was a woman came through here long ago, and she's still down there. And things keep coming out, old things, like dead, but with new life. They're not like anything I've ever seen. Come, talk to the chief. Talk to the chief knows more.
I will relay this weird information. But I'll say, does the woman, did she have gray hair? Did she have 9 metallic hands floating around her?
So kind of like jumps back in surprise. And
it was
says,
Umeli,
yes.
I say. She's down there.
Umeli. Yes. Come talk to Chief.
Well, I suppose.
Go ahead, Pruitt.
Right, well, now I'm motivated now. Zeruic is motivated. So, yes, we must talk to the chief. We must find
Excellent. Is this
Everyone's freezing up for
Yeah,
me a
everyone's
little bit.
freezing for me.
Yeah, I've got Bruce frozen up. I always worry that it's me because my my internet's very unstable.
Oh.
There he is.
It kind of heard you. Oh, there you're back now. You're moving again.
Oh, Yeah, I had no indication of that. Well, so Zeruic is motivated to follow this thing to find Umeli.
Okay. Yeah, it says it's going to take you to Chief Boglin. And to follow it.
Right.
Chief Boglin, the Goblin?
Yep.
I'm up for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as you kind of relay the information to us, and I was like, I just turn to everyone and say, see, there's nothing to worry about. Like I said, it just wants our help.
Courage.
What if they want to kill her?
We'll cross
Courage.
that.
Courage is sitting on Soul's shoulder. So if everyone's moving forward, she's moving forward, but she complains the whole way. She's like, well, I mean, it seems dangerous. Something's coming out of his head, and I don't like that. And this seems more like a personal dispute. I don't want to take sides, and trying to make every excuse to turn around.
Sure.
But courage. Remember, we're here to find her. We now have a lead to find our friend. She's a friend, right?
She was a mentor. She could be a little harsh at times. I'm kind of trying to find her why she took off and without any explanation so many years ago.
Interesting.
The
courage.
tracks with what the villagers told you to.
Remember, it's okay to be scared because you can't have courage if you're not scared.
kitty cat.
Ooh, that's a big cat.
Okay. Courage is like poking her forehead. And she's like, I don't know. I feel like I have a bump. Do I have a bump?
No, I can give you one if you want.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, okay.
So she's just eyeing Zaruk suspiciously.
Yeah. You pass through a series of rooms that are filled with rubble and look like they've been ransacked. All throughout here, you see sort of carved reliefs in the walls, various what look to be like monks or oracles or something like that in various states of contemplation. But you pass through about 3 or 4 of these rooms until you get to a rather large room. It's got columns at the north end of it. There's this sort of alcove in which there might be beds or something. Just judging by the space of the room and what looks to be the living quarters here versus the number of other goblin and hobgoblin-like wastelanders in here, this could hold a lot more. It looks like there's not near enough people in here to quite fill the space. And there are 2 exits, one of them to the south and another to the west. And it's from that west one that your escort kind of walks to, still utterly silent, and sort of stands at for a minute. Now, Zeroic, you can hear it calling for Boglin in your mind.
I will say it's calling for Boglin.
Do all the other goblin-like creatures in here have protrusions?
Yep, they all have these sort of like strange world metallic sort of protrusions. None of them look the same, but they all emerge from their foreheads.
Interesting. Did you ask them if they looked into the mirror as well?
You know, I will say to the guy or another one, I don't know, how close is this Boglin to coming out? Maybe
You can see some sort of shape larger than the goblins emerging from the hallway. Like it'd be right there if you want to wait, or you could do something right before it comes out.
maybe the chief can give us more 411. Sorry.
Mm.
Perhaps the chief will answer our questions.
Certainly.
Thieves can't, I see.
This the shadow gets larger and larger and larger until the absolute biggest goblin you have ever seen, we're talking humongous, comes out. Like its head is it doesn't, the regular goblins don't even come up to the size of its head, and it kind of like crawls on its shoulder, like its elbows and knees out of this tunnel until it squats. It's too big, it can't even stand up in here. But it's distinctly goblinish and has one of those things coming out of its head, and it kind of like squats around and then sits down on the cushions that are in the alcove there, and following behind it is this sort of mirrored orb of some kind, sort of floating. The orb itself almost seems to move of its own accord, and Boglin sits down and without really, it starts to speak like verbally, but you can tell that it hasn't done this in a long time. And at the same time as it's speaking, Zeroic, you can hear it telepathically. It's like, my friend, servant, my companion here tells me that you came in through the outside. Are you here to help?
We all hear this, right?
Yep. Yeah, you all hear this.
We could be. Depends on what you need help with.
There's a drow woman came through here long ago, or only recently. She sent her enemies, or our enemies, after us, her minions.
I described the lady we're looking for.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Then yes, We're here to help you.
I don't know what she wants, but the orb safeguard, he gestures to the mirrored orb, says we need to stop her. That there's something down there that we shouldn't let out. You seem to kind of get the idea that that's about all that's the amount of level of detail that he knows about this.
Interesting. Do you know where she is?
He gestures to the south passage. She went through the necropolis past there. It's dangerous there. We don't go.
Well, if
Perhaps we could.
we would have to go, would we not?
He said not to.
Well, you would have to if you're going to help us.
What is beyond there? What kind of dangers?
There's a forest of pillars of rock. No.
I saw that.
Yes. And he kind of looks at Zerok's head. You have the blessing of the safeguard. You should sleep and slumber in this chamber with us, and there we will. He actually, this first time you see him happy or like excited. He's like, stay with us and sleep, dream the same dream as we do.
You know, at another time and place in my life, that sounds fabulous, but is there a way the safeguard could extract its blessing from me if we were to agree to help you?
And it kind of like almost looks at the orb as if the orb's speaking or communicating with it. And it says it can, but it would not be pleasant.
Can I? Soul's gonna try to lean over to Zurek and try to whisper in his ear without the goblin hearing it.
Sure.
And we've been adventuring a while, right?
Yeah.
So we probably know what languages each other speak.
I would assume, yeah.
Do you speak Elvish or Orc?
I speak Orc.
Okay, I'm gonna lean over and kind of whisper in Orc, like, you should see if he'll let you talk to the safeguard directly, since he obviously can't understand it.
May I speak directly to the safeguard?
You can attempt to, yeah.
All right, I will try.
It doesn't quite respond. You can tell that it might not be capable of this kind of communication, like verbal or even mind-to-mind communication. But you get the impression that if you were to sleep here, you would have something significant would happen.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure I want to go down that path.
And do all of the goblins here have the eye crusties?
They not only have the eye crusties, their eyes are closed. Many of them are still asleep.
If you
They're,
did
like,
sleep
stuck
here,
in
I
some kind
don't
of
think you
dream
would wake.
state.
Yeah, you would not fully wake, my friend.
We dream to keep guard against what lies beneath. Or we sleep to keep guard against what lies beneath.
Well, since life is a dream, I'm right there with you, brother.
You seek the blessing too, then. And he takes a big breath and is waiting for you to say yes or no.
I was going to get the blessing on the way out.
In your own time, then.
You know, maybe I could get the blessing on the way out if you take the blessing away now. Even though you say that may be painful, I'm okay with that.
He kind of looks, gives you a skeptical look as someone can give with their eyes shut. And
I want to try to help him out here
Eyebrow
with
raise.
a little deception here.
Yeah.
If you say that this woman is your enemy, if our friend Zarok goes down there looking like one of you, she might attack him. So it might be best to help you if he no longer had the blessing.
So while y'all are sussing this out, it appears as though we've gone up to $800 in donations, which means
Dang.
we're going to the magical effects of this place have shifted somewhat, and let's see real quick what that portends for our adventurers. There we go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can use the advantage on the deception.
Certainly, yeah. Can make use of it real quick. All right. So the first one is the jackal. It pretends sort of moments of power, of ruthlessness, dark magic, and necromancy. Any tasks related to one of those, or intimidation and the like, and it's almost as if a shudder passes through all of the sleeping goblins. Several of them seem to like cry or whimper in this shared dream of theirs, and it becomes noticeably colder in the room as this happens. Let's see the other.
My light. I just shine my light brighter.
Oh, this is a good
matches
one.
my soul.
The sense of danger and foreboding passes, and a sense of gentleness, friendship, but not quite without its own danger. Perhaps mistaken danger washes over you as the misunderstood beast comes into play. So yes, it's possible that seeking out information during this time might not yield the certain results that you are that you're looking for, or it might. Who knows?
By the way, Jim, I rolled a 20 on that deception check. Nat 20.
Okay, all right, I'll keep that in mind. So,
Nice.
with it comes vision of a raven. This portends jealousy, sight, especially sight beyond sight, as well as trickery. So there's something going on here, some sort of deception of this place, perhaps, and it is bleeding over into the real world, into the reality here.
So the Sword of Omens has come into play?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the Sword of Omens. But you find in this sort of flash of visions that you have, and the almost as if the goblin's sleeping telepathy bleeds over, even without the blessing, that there is some sort of barrier that blocks your path, something that will hinder you, something that might cause you to delay, and that perhaps a part of this outcome is unchanging and not it has already sort of reached a point of no return, as the sealed door comes into play. And finally, we have the weeping priest. This portends moments of betrayal, of weakness, of some sort of turnabout or disillusionment, and feelings of loss and of longing come over you. So it could be.
So I just feel normal.
Why you gotta attack us like that?
Soul just feels normal. Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing anything, guys. This is not me at all. And so you see it like very quickly. You see Boglin sort of rise up. His head hits the ceiling, and he seems impatient and irritated now. You must hurry. And before we get to it, Pruitt, you were trying to deceive them to what end?
To see if they would help remove the blessing from Zurich.
Yeah, he was basically like, well, if you remove it now, then you can give it to him later.
Certainly. And it seemed like there for a minute there it was going to oblige, but then this something or other, this spirit or magical aura passes over everyone, and he seems to dig in its heels even further. No, I cannot do that. You must, in fact, and he sort of like goes to take in another breath. You will all receive the blessing. You have a moment to leave if you'd like, or you can stay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop a pill right quick and start to move out.
Okay. You're using your calm center.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop a Xanny and make sure that everybody,
Oh my God.
we all just need to chill out here.
Yeah.
As he does that, I'm going to out of like one of my pouches, I pull out like a little wasp and I like turn it, like those toys that you can like twist and turn. I feel like that's the kind of like what this wasp looks like. She
Mhm.
twists it and turns it and like lets it go. And she whispers into it like in celestial, um, let him hear something in his ear, something pleasant, but maybe not for him. And I like let the little drone go off and try to like fly into his giant ear, I'm assuming.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, certainly. Like one of you could reach an arm in there.
My goal is to distract him whilst we GTFO.
Okay. Yeah, but between the calmness, which seems to soothe all of the sleeping wastelanders in here, and this sort of buzzing, irritable, sort of distraction, which it seems to become fascinated by, whatever was going to happen, whatever breath he was taking, sort of releases it without harm, and is momentarily distracted by this thing. Whew, 15. We've got there's here's how we'll do this one for the number of ciphers. Yeah, Hecubus, if you could assist in this matter, as impish assistants are wont to do, this would help us speed things along.
All right, Mr. Jim, I'm going to pull up a list and I'm going to start handing out some cool stuff to your players shortly.
Certainly. Perhaps the party grabs some things on the way out, or they find their way in their pack.
Yeah, let's take their shit.
Some of the goblins might... Here we go. Some of the goblins press things into your hand to assist you in your endeavors ahead. Although you feel if you have a lot of them on your person that it might not be a good idea to keep them there for very long.
I get a sentient lip ring.
Well, I just got rid of one, so I only have the monoblade now.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Like when you were like, I'm gonna pop the pill, I choked on my own spit. Like, what happened?
So you guys are leaving by the South Passage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess if Courage is on Soul's back, then we're good. I was gonna be like, I'll scoop her up if she, because I know she's got little legs.
Passing by, so you pass through this curved passageway. There's another large pit that's in the right after you pass the curve, which if you would like to do the same thing you did last time, there's free to do that without going through the details of it. And let's see real quick.
Zaruk also probably has a way to get us all down, but you know what? That's a more of a I can, if we were all to start falling or to jump, I could bring us safely down, but we'll wait until something more pressing causes me to use that ability.
Certainly. Going on ahead, you can see that there's a chamber in front of you, and it is littered with bodies. Most of them seem to be the sleepwalking wastelanders, but there are a couple of stranger ones in the mix. Some of them look like desiccated mummies of some kind that are riddled with its sort of metallic veins or something. They have similar sort of bulbous and metallic protrusions, but not of the same, they're not the same as the sleepwalkers. They seem to be haphazard at various points along their bodies. Looking closer, some of them have their torso opened up, and you can see that these metallic objects have replaced organs and sort of other internal features of these creatures. They also don't look like anything you've ever seen before. Like they have different sorts of anatomies, odd shaped bodies. And then there's a creature that appears to be a headless panther or large feline of some kind. And it's lying there. And as you sort of look at it, it has, in place of a head, a sort of flickering and slowly fading sphere of energy that has sort of like shards of some sort of matter, not metallic, not organic, that are falling very slowly to the ground next to it. And it seems as though there was some large battle very recently with this creature and the Wastelanders. There's a doorway beyond that you can see as well.
But this creature's in the way of the door.
It's near the door, but it's inert. It's lying on the ground, seems lifeless.
We
But it
walk
is.
around it and try to get past the door.
You could, yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to.
I'll approach this weird critter with the energy head, fading energy head, and check to see if it's corpse by trying to scan it with my corpse likeness cipher.
Yeah.
See if I can scan the likeness of it into it.
Certainly, yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So you could use that. Very
Cool.
cool. Yeah, I'd say just getting close to it and looking at it, it doesn't even seem as though it's the organic parts of it that you don't recognize any sort of other creature that would have this substance to it.
This is weird.
Y'all pass through and this is like a large door as well, like not the others. All the others you've seen are like normal sized doors. This is like a huge vault door that is kind of cracked open, but all right. I hear you, Hecubus. Let us do that. Hecubus is relaying vital information to us.
Ooh.
Sweet. Yeah. Let's do that. So we've got. Yeah, if you don't mind putting them in the backstage, but I will let. Okay, sounds great.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
So for our viewers' benefit, some of the items that the goblins gave to our heroes: dimensional armor, liquid sword, drill spear, which sounds terrifying, and a fiery hellmaker. These are relics, not single-use ciphers. And then for the ciphers, we have Cat's Eye, Far Speaker, Harmony Lamp, Detonation of Soap. Am I reading that right? And Iron Tamer. Awesome. All right, so it's Detonation of Soap. And then Iron Tamer is the next one. And our players will have get that information to them here pretty quick. And yeah, they just pushed like a big sack of stuff towards you. They seem to not want it or do not value it.
Does anybody mind if I take the liquid sword? Because my master back at the monastery, we called him the Jizza, and he's been looking for his liquid sword for quite a while.
Go for it.
Does anyone mind if I take the dimensional armor to protect my Goral?
Go
It'll
for
protect you from time.
Yeah.
And I think now is a good spot. If our players need to take a little break, we'll keep going, but we'll kind of take it slow. If you got to get up, stretch your legs, bio break, that kind of thing, now's a good time. While we're getting this sussed out and exploring the next phase of this dungeon, we'll go ahead and slow things down a bit.
I'm gonna look up all these ciphers.
Okay.
Let's see. Cat's Eye.
Yeah. So yeah, this next part, there's a long sort of corridor through this vault or through these doorways. It seems almost cathedral-like. Stretches in either direction as far as you can see. Any questions so far from our players here?
No. Excited.
Is this corridor of the same sort of construction as what we've been going through, which is like an old oracle temple, right? Is it the same sort of?
This one seems much different and far older than that. It looks as though the door was kind of made around it, like somebody like broke into this and then constructed a temple. But yeah, it has a feeling of being older and almost of like most of like it's composed of fragments of some metal that you're not familiar with, but that time and pressure have fused them all into a solid mass again.
Mm.
Like at one point it was crumbling and fragmented, but has then reformed itself. If you had a dwarf here, you'd know you're really far underground.
Dwarf? What's that?
Right. One of those, a creature of legend.
Be right back as well.
All right. Yeah. So there's that. Pruitt, you didn't. You might have missed this. The construction of the corridor that lies beyond is almost as if fragments of some metal have fused back into a solid form.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can hear everything. I got my earbuds.
Okay, cool.
So.
That's very good. Let's see. So yeah,
Earbud stealth.
right.
At 20.
And then we've got that Hecubus has linked to that forbidden tome of knowledge in our backstage chat if you need some stats. When y'all are ready to proceed, I guess we can wait for Bruce to get back. But yeah, this is the corridor, massive. So easily the four of you could walk side by side without squishing each other up. And it's fairly tall in terms of its height. Stretches as far as your dark vision can see.
This whole time, Courage has been surprisingly quiet and zen because Soul is like radiating that calmness.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
little
starting
cobalt. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that Courage is just a good little kobold who needs some anxiety meds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say it's starting to wear off, but I don't have a refill. I have to go see my doctor.
All right. So in the interests of time, we're going to kind of do a little montage scene here. For those of you who are curious, this adventure is adapted from the intro adventure to Arcana of the Ancients, which is really awesome and way more detailed than I'm able to get into today. So yeah, if anything here jumps out as you as interesting, check that out. But as you walk through the necropolis, you pass through multiple series of rooms which have bizarre, just some machines without apparent purpose. Some of them spark and give off various forms of energy that would otherwise prove dangerous to you. But you're canny dungeon delvers and adventurers, and do not blunder into any traps or things like that. Periodically, something, you're not quite sure, sort of rams its way down the large corridor, and you have to figure out a way to jump past it. But there's lots of side passages and rooms and the like that you can use to avoid it. It moves unbelievably fast and with a terrific roar. And in some other world, some other dimension, you might describe it as train-like, but no one's seen anything like that in quite some time in the land between two rivers.
I just scream every time.
It shakes and sort of vibrates the whole place. Massive worm-like kind of thing. As you get to one of the rooms that you've passed through, and like I said, you've been through many with like these sarcophagi in which these mummified cybernetic kind of organisms are forming. We've discovered several chambers in which they're in various states of creation. You've passed through a chamber which it seems as though there's a metallic column of some kind that has creatures surrounded it in some sort of temporal stasis. And it's edging your way through there and then through another series of passages that you come to a room that has a series of, let me see, I'll pull up the descriptive text here, give you guys a good mental image of what's going on. There's a shaft of sunlight bright illumination that emanates from some unseen source that fills this chamber. It creates a cylindrical region of sunlight about 30 feet in diameter. And floating around this shaft of sunlight, I know it's terrible. Floating around this shaft of sunlight are 5 glass spheres, about 3 feet in diameter. They seem to be equidistantly spaced around it, and each has a slightly different aspect, but you can't shake the feeling that they're disembodied eyes of some sort. This is where you're at. Your intuition says that the tunnel would go on nearly endlessly, and this is the last of these chambers that you've been able to come across in your explorations. And by this point, Xerox
But this is the direction that
thing on his head
the
has grown
bog.
to a full-size horn.
But this is the direction the bog guy told us to go to find her.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't seem like they'd ever been here, more than just like they know she's through here.
Mm.
What's that, Courage?
I feel like I'm being watched. I don't like it.
Well, it does look like there are eyes inside of those jars. So perhaps you are being watched.
Oh, that doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah.
Anything else in this room, or is this the only feature?
This is the only feature here. It does not look like there are any ways out of this room. You'd have to go back to that endless tunnel with the red metal train worm that goes through it.
Is it possible to investigate just to make sure we haven't missed anything, or like a secret exit or something?
Sure, certainly. Yeah.
A 26.
This room, like careful investigation, doesn't reveal that there are any concealed exits to here. And as you are just sort of poking your nose around and kind of giving it a once over, you can feel every time you pass one of those eyes that you get the distinct impression it wants you to look inside of it.
Looking at things hasn't turned out well for members of this party. If Courage gets that feeling, she distinctly doesn't look at things, but she will tell everybody, does anyone else feel that the eyeballs want us to look back? I don't know if that's a good idea, and I'm just covering my eyes now.
I look back.
Yeah. Yeah. Soul looks back at one of
I
them.
talk to myself too a little bit. I'm like, this better not be you playing a trick on me.
I'm not.
And I turn to where Courage is trying not to look.
Right.
Are you like not looking, but your hand, like you keep
I'm like
opening-
peeking, and I see you all like turning in the direction. I'm like, what are you doing?
So Octavia, you check out one of the glass eyes, the glass orbs.
Yeah.
You feel like almost a mental itch, which may or may not be familiar to you, given your interactions with spirits and other otherworldly entities in the past. And you have a chance to resist if you'd like, or you can kind of give in and similarly to Xerox, drawing your consciousness further into these
Let's leave it to the
impulses.
dice rolls.
Yeah,
There's a
let's do it.
save I can make.
At the moment, no save is necessary. It's if you choose to look into it, you don't need to make a roll. If you wish to resist, you would need to make a saving throw.
If I choose to resist, I need to make a save.
Yeah, it's more like let me make sure I got this right. If you want to know more about what's going on, you can choose to not resist. You can say, I just sort of give into it. But if you don't like what you're seeing, or you're suspicious for some reason or whatever, you can resist.
Some
And
reason.
that's when we'll make a saving throw.
I see what you're saying.
All
right. I'll give in. I'll get a little bulb in my head too.
You give in and it's not so much a vision as if you have a new memory, right? Like I didn't know this thing before. Now I do. And you know that if you were to step into that shaft of sunlight in a certain way, that it would transport you to a room filled with those monoliths that y'all have been receiving in those dreams.
I offer my hand to Courage, even though her eyes are closed, and I say, "Come with me, Courage."
Octavia has never steered Courage wrong before. So Courage takes Octavia's hand. Where are we going? We're leaving? We're going back?
I take your hand and I say, "Your namesake. Now is the time to put it to use." And I step in the way that I'm supposed to step in.
No.
And the two of them disappear into the shaft of sunlight, not in the room anymore, and they vanish.
Well, I hope they weren't just disintegrated, I say to Soul.
I mean, I'm willing to try. I've endured enough.
I've already got a bulb starting to come out of my head, so I'll take a look into one of these eyeballs.
Yeah. Similarly, you have a new memory of sort of the knowledge of how to manipulate this shaft of light. And, you know, if you step in this certain way and then use your mind to sort of like remember how it works, that it would just work.
I'll do that.
How about Soul? Zerok disappears. He steps into the light.
Soul looked into the orb, but I rolled a 15 on my save.
Yep.
I'm not giving in to that. There's plenty going on in my head already. And so, yeah, I'll just walk into that shaft of light, kind of covering my eyes, pulling my hair down to give myself some more shade.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving into the light.
Gotcha. Yeah, the save seems to, like, you're not quite sure what would have happened if you hadn't steeled yourself against that, but you have a similar knowledge of how to manipulate this effect. And as Soul steps in, you join the others in a massive cavern. You can feel just the weight of the earth on top of you, not like physically, but just one of those senses, that sort of other sense of how deep underground that you are. A shaft of sunlight shines from the impenetrable darkness far overhead, and there is a miles wide subterranean grotto filled with sort of dim light, and you can sort of see little glows and fires of other things within this chamber. But the most prominent feature that you can see is a rising mass of monoliths of various sizes and shapes. And they begin rather small, you know, some no more than the size of a small rock or a boulder, until they get up to massive sizes, stretching hundreds of feet into the air and dozens of feet in diameter. This grove of geometric shapes, more cubes, but they're also pyramids, octahedrons, dodecahedrons, and the like, seems to be surrounding a kind of something that's glowing with an orange amber light. Along the edges of the grotto, it's fairly easy to move about however you like. But as you get inside of it and try, if you were trying to get it closer into this, you can tell that they get close enough to each other that they become almost impenetrable, and you'd have to work your way through this maze-like corridors.
Oh, I think I stand there and I look at these and I'm like, she shakes her head.
Is Umeli here? Obviously, you don't. We would have seen. You would have said. So
Yeah, you're not sure. Someone's in there. You can see fires and like flickering lights of the like. Like you could. It seems as though there are other beings in there.
To help, is there anything I can do to help us navigate through the maze? Either an investigation check or a survival check?
Yeah, in fact, we'll treat this like a kind of like a skill challenge type thing. So you can attempt to use investigation, survival, perception. If anyone has tools that would assist in orientation or navigation or the like, You can attempt to make a tool check with one of those. But for the most part, we're looking for wisdom and intelligence related checks to kind of maneuver through this place. And then based on how well you do, we'll figure
We'll
out.
do a survival.
Okay.
I hate
So,
platformers.
so Jim, I do have cartographer's tools because since I'm a far traveler, I like to map as I go into new places. So if maybe we could help not get lost in this maze by mapping it as we go, I could also do perception, but I'm definitely going to cast dancing lights and kind of spread them out to really light the area up. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yes, you can do that. Cartographer's tools will help you. And we're basically treating this like a group check. As long as half of you, half or more succeed, you'll be able to find your way through the maze. But if not, depending on the severity of the failure, who knows what'll happen, but it might not be good.
I got a non-natural 20. I rolled an
Sweet.
18. I have +2 to survival.
A dirty 20.
Okay.
I got a 25 investigation. Courage is like skittering about, like, oh no, I don't like this. I gotta get out, gotta get out.
Yeah, certainly.
What ability would you like me to use for the cartographer's tools?
Intelligence.
Intelligence? Okay. In that case, I got a 21.
Okay. And Zorak, you have any tool proficiency or skill proficiency that you think would be of use?
Or unless Arcana. Investigation.
Arcana or investigation would be appropriate.
That would be a 15 altogether.
All right, so 15 is the DC. Means all of you passed, which counts as a critical success for in this case. You make your way through this place, and it takes a long time, hours, as you wind your way, sometimes to a dead end, other times to onto a path that will take you deeper. And at several points, you actually see some of these monoliths moving very slowly, kind of carving ways through the rest of them. These are the paths that you're following. At one point, you hear voices of some kind of creatures talking in a language that you can't quite understand exactly, but also has some familiarity to it. And assuming that you would stop and listen, you could gain some information from them. Well, you can't see them; you're separated by like one of these impenetrable walls of the monoliths. If not, you can continue on. Like if you don't want to stop and listen.
Let's pause and hear what this conversation behind this geometric shape is saying.
Sure. And there's a halting kind of halting kind of speech. Zorak, you largely have to translate. You can kind of understand some of this, but there are occasionally words that all of you have some understanding of, and it sounds as though they are talking about an interloper or an invader, someone who is dwells near where this the center of this maze is, and they're more griping and complaining that they can't get closer to it and can't roast her and eat her and the like they're hungry and grumpy. That's the impression you get.
What language are they speaking?
You're not sure.
Is it something I'm getting through my telepathic growth?
Yeah. And as the longer they speak, the more you can understand. Of course, as you were getting to this place in the necropolis, you passed through many rooms and chambers and the like. Who knows what weird effects they might have had on you and what changes they might have wrought in you. But you're certain that they have, because the longer these creatures talk, the more you understand them, all of you.
Alrighty.
You can stay longer and get more information if you'd like, but you don't have to.
I think we should make haste so we can possibly get to the center before these things.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I don't want to be eaten.
Just a second. I'm communing with Hecubus for the moment. For just need about just a second. And so just to give you all an idea, we're probably going to play for about another hour or so, just to mostly for our players' benefits, so that I don't know. FYI. All right.
We're
So what were
close to the
y'all?
goal.
I know. Yeah. So what were y'all? I missed the last little bit of what y'all are talking about.
We don't
Yeah,
want to
I
get
see.
eaten, and we carry forward.
Okay.
Yeah, none of us want to get eaten, and we are
Like
moving forward. This
Okay.
is the truth.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
In life as well.
Nice. You, the last sort of feature of note that you find before you get to the center of this is a kind of pool of black fluid, and it's sort of like a divot in the track is sort of filled with this, and it's like seems to ripple of its own accord. And the closer that one of you gets to it, I don't know if one of you wants to get closer to it, but you can, and then I'll tell you what happens.
In the Skin of Evil vibe here, Jim. I'm going to move closer because that looks like a reflection of my heart.
Sorry, I'm laughing at what Hecubus is talking about. So you're going to get closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
As you get closer to it, it ripples in these various complex patterns, and you seem as though you could, like, it seems to be trying to form some kind of shape the closer you get to it.
I warn Courage that I'm going to take another step closer, and then I take another step closer.
No,
Okay.
no. And I'm like trying to grab you the back of your shirt or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as Courage is grabbing the back of my shirt.
It is forming its shape into a lump that's about your height, but is featureless. Like it kind of rises up out of the pool and is in this like unworked clay kind of shape. You're just standing there.
Interesting. Pull out a clove and start lighting it up to see if it mirrors that.
It's reflected in it, and it's something about where the reflection is attempting to protrude out.
Well, I'm not certain I'm the type of person you want to emulate their pool of fluid, but if I take a step back, what happens?
It starts to go down. It starts to recede back into the waters, or fluid rather.
How far away from it am I?
As close as you want to be.
Well, I mean, so I'm just wondering, like, how close am I when it was forming?
Oh, you were pretty close.
10 feet? 5
No,
feet?
closer than that. By 10 feet out, it's just sort of a little mound of lumpy sort of fluid. You'd have to get pretty close to it, within a foot, for it to get to that height.
Soul turns around and looks at his compatriots and is like, it's very rare that you get to look inside yourself. And he steps up to within a foot just to see.
Yeah, it's trying to form your features. If you get that close.
It's not moving closer to me?
It doesn't seem like it can leave the pool or extend beyond the edge of it.
Okay. If I get like 6 inches away.
Like it meets you as close as it can, but like vertically, it's not going beyond the lip of it. Mm-hmm. But it's utterly mirroring your movement and features to the best of its ability.
Courage
so like
is like
divots where your eyes would be, little mouth indentation.
I don't like this. Courage is like on your back with like her feet on your back, and she's like pulling on your shirt, trying to get you to back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Courage is on your back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's trying to form Courage as well.
You see little flaily bits in the liquid.
Aren't we all? Interesting. Are you alive? Can you speak? Is it
No
just
response.
pulling an abyss where it's just doing what I do?
Its mouth indentation moves, but it's mimicking you. The abyss is not a that's the guy. I'm glad you brought it up. It's not unlike that, except instead of clear living water, it's like sort of like black fluid oil.
Can I take one of the little pittons that Soul had given me at the beginning and just kind of throw it into the pool?
Certainly, yeah.
Bloop.
As you throw it into the pool, the part of it that's trying to resemble you hops out and mimics Courage's features. Not perfectly, but in enough of an approximation you can tell it's Courage. And sort of like at the foot of Soul's feet, it stands there and sort of looks up at Courage silently.
What? So it's not mimicking me anymore. I mean, it looks like me, but it's doing different stuff.
It's not like on your back. It's more like it looks like it's waiting for you to do something before it'll react.
I don't know what to do. Do we have to cross this pool to keep going?
No, you can walk around it.
Oh, okay.
It's a rather large pool, and it's right in the middle of the path. You're pretty close to the amber glow.
So
Are we
intrigued.
done? Are we done staring into the darkness of our souls now?
It's a lifelong pursuit, Courage, but I guess we can move on.
Okay.
And when the Courage's sort of simulacra jumped out, the pool just went perfectly still. Not even ripples in it.
But it's outside the pool?
It's outside the pool.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Courage's form is outside of the pool, like standing.
You gave it something.
Beyond the lip. The rest of the pool is silent still.
Can I hand it the glowy ball?
Yeah. It kind of takes it, and as it does, it's liquid, so it kind of like falls through it.
Oh, okay.
But it otherwise keeping
Wow.
its shape. Like it reforms after it goes through.
Oh, I don't like that it looks like me.
It seems like it's not admiring you, but it's like looking to you for direction of what to do. Like it's going to just imitate whatever you do.
This is too much responsibility.
You're going to have to feed it and take care of it and like pick up after it.
The
Gotta
greatest
register it.
fear.
You got to register with the Magical Simulacra Guild. Got to get it shots.
Maybe
You
we
weren't
should-
ready for what was inside. Then you shouldn't have gone.
You're braver than all of us, Courage, to take on this new responsibility.
What? No, but what about yours? And
It's gone.
Courage is going to climb down
Mhm.
so that she's standing in front of the thing and just kind of like shakily hold out her hand, like her little palm.
It imitates you as best it can.
Okay. I touch it,
It's kind of a cool, viscous liquid.
but nothing bad happens.
Yep.
Okay.
So as you
Courage-
touch it, it starts to look exactly like you.
Okay.
Like every little feature, every little detail, every scale, every, yeah. It's like a perfect copy of you other than being like black liquid.
I want to start walking around and past the pool, and she keeps looking back to see if the thingy follows her.
It's following about 5 feet behind you.
Okay.
I imagine she'd like to walk. Turn around.
This is fine.
Also turns around, so it doesn't see. It acts like it's not looking at her.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess we should keep going. Maybe it'll go away.
Now that we have why would you want that? Now we have twice the courage.
Hey.
Are you all done now, playing in the water?
I'm gonna tie a ribbon around my wrist so you know which one's the real me. And it like
Does it make a ribbon on the like a
It attempts to
without
form
me?
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
It like forms one out of its wrist. I'm just looking at you.
oh no.
Its little fluid eyes blink when
It's
you blink.
learning.
Yeah.
Okay, should we continue on?
Yeah.
You're like close enough that you're bathed in kind of an orange light at anytime there's a crack in the monolith walls, which now tower above you hundreds of feet. Continuing on.
Move towards it.
All right.
Onward.
As you continue onwards, you get a sense that the path ahead of you ends at one point, and it grows increasingly uneven as it sort of curves around. Cracks and splinters seem to show up in the pathway. It looks as though it's no longer this relatively even place that you can walk, and there's a kind of chasm of some sort as you round a curve that immediately drops off, right? Like it's not like a slope or anything before it. There's not really any like cracks or anything like the pits were back in the abandoned temple. It's as if just 1 minute there's a pathway and the next there's not. And as you are at the edge of this kind of chasm, you can see that it spreads out into this miles wide abyss that drops deep into the earth. As we're floating in the center of this this cavity is a colossal amber monolith, easily 10 times larger than the surrounding shapes through which you've been passing. It shines with an amber light and pulses with otherworldly music. And so the idea is that there's this sort of giant chasm as you're standing on the lip of that is in the middle of this forest of these monoliths. And then floating in the middle of that space is this gigantic amber monolith.
That's what we're here for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see your friend?
There's no. How far away is the monolith? Like hundreds of feet?
Yeah, it's hundreds of feet away. Like right now, y'all are just standing at the edge, sort of not at the edge, like your toes are over it, but it's a few feet away. You could get closer and see, but the amber light of it kind of drowns out any other light that you might have, like your light spells, your dancing lights. It really just kind of like completely overtakes them. So any other lights that might be here, like you've seen as you passed your way through this maze, you wouldn't be able to see them.
I'll inch forward and peek over the edge, because I presume we can't actually see since we're not right at the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of. I mean, look. I'm looking for Umeli, and we keep hearing that she's here, unless she's inside the amber monolith, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you, as you get closer to it, you can actually tell that some of these monoliths have tipped over the edge and form like protrusions and little shelves.
Oh, like the forest.
Of it.
Oh.
Yeah. And that it seems like maybe one of them, there's a structure of some kind on the largest one, not far from where you're at, but it is composed of some like matte black substance that doesn't even reflect the light of the monolith. It's almost as if it just absorbs it. I forget what that material's called.
Vanta black is the color.
Vanta black, thank you. Yeah, it looks down there, and you like, depending on how long you look, like if you just glance at it, that's all you can see. But if you observed it for a while, you might be able to see more.
Soul stares hard.
Okay.
This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah, it looks as though it's some kind of like a camp. There's other things around it, like equipment, gear, and the like, supplies, even crates and bags and things. How long do you look?
As long as it takes.
Yeah. At some point, you see a drow woman with iron hands, or metallic hands, sort of trailing around her and orbiting her, come out of the structure, fuss about with some of the equipment and the like outside, and then go back inside the structure. It kind of looks like a tent or maybe a hut of some kind.
There she is.
We shout out to her? Can we like call out to her?
And if you'd like, it's not that far away.
Okay.
Save her.
Are y'all going?
Stop her.
Stop her, yeah. Are you going to like jump down? You're gonna use a rope? Like, how are you gonna get down there? Because it's not even with the chasm. So it's sort of like slightly below.
I can cast a spell, Feather Fall, and get all of this. Let's see. How far can we fall safely? Let me just check.
Steal your will, courage. And
What if Zeroag mixes up? This seems risky.
like halfway through that sentence, Soul jumps off.
Oh no! We have to time it carefully.
We get cold too.
Or we
Just
can
'cause we
use our own
jumped.
abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can fall 60 feet a second, before a minute, basically.
Okay. Yeah, it's within there. It's within 60 feet there. And so Hecubus has just informed me that we've broken through 1,000. That is awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. And that's going to prompt a couple more rolls for the soothe cards.
Oh,
because here we are.
Shields up, folks.
The first one is the revealing knife. This portends revelation, discovery, but also some sort of finesse. This isn't a brute force discovery. This is the sort of discovery that comes through careful and deft examinations. Any sort of roles related to those themes will, of course, have advantage, and any kind of magic or supernatural powers could potentially have additional effects based on that. And then the other is nice, the mysterious rune. Magic, mystery, and wordless communication are associated with this portent. Any sort of roles related to either discovering mysteries or creating your own would receive advantage, as well as the attendant effects on any magic you attempt to use. All right. Featherfall will get you down to where you want to go. I'm assuming everybody follows.
I will like
Jump, I'll catch you.
Urge is okay with going off and go down with her.
So this sort of like protrusion out of the wall extends into the chasm, and right next to the chasm wall and the protrusion, there's some sort of machine that you can see. It's sort of adhering to both the wall and the monolith that you're standing on right now. As you get down there, you can see the collection of tents, which are composed of this black substance. There's a variety of workbenches strewed about with machines. They're sort of scattered, would appear to be devices of some kind all over the camp. And you can see sort of sparking wires, odd contraptions, and the like. And Umeli occasionally puttering about, tinkering about with the various machines. She does not seem to have noticed you yet, seems very absorbed in her work, occasionally walking out to the very edge of the protrusion, which is the closest you could get to the amber monolith. So you have a moment where she has not seen you, detected you, or otherwise.
Do we not want to like call out to her, or are we trying to be sneaky? Like, what's our goal here? Out of character.
Are we worried about how she'll react if we come here?
So out of character, you know that no one's seen her in years, that she's a techno wizard, right? Like she knows some blend of technological secrets as well as magic. That's what she was known for.
She's an artificer.
Basically, yeah. And sort of the last that any of you really heard from her or got from her, she was seeking a way to gain the knowledge of what's contained in here. And very much just looking at the way her camp's set up, you really do get the impression that she's studying this thing. There seems to be a lot of like devices meant for observation or recording the like set up in and around the camp and directed towards the monolith. Without being artificers yourselves, it's kind of hard to actually identify what these things are, but you're familiar enough with the various relics of the past to have a basic understanding of what these machines might do. And then your individual goals might vary, but the sleepwalking wastelanders certainly wanted you to like not let whatever's happening here happen. They seem very intent on like, don't poke this thing, don't prod this thing, get out of the vault. It is dangerous. They give you a better idea of sort of the metagame, what y'all's
but we know her, so I feel like I don't know if we're trying to be sneaky.
I don't think Octavia is trying to be sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty calm about this whole situation.
Yeah, sure.
I'll only say this. If she's had interactions with those wastelanders, with the knobs on their heads, she might not react too kindly, kind of looking over at Zeruic.
Is it sticking out, or is it just still?
Yeah, it's kind of like protruded through.
Oh, you got a little unicorn horn.
I'm actually, once a soul brings up that topic, I will realize that I shouldn't go forward saying, hey, which had been my plan. Umela, you remember me, your student? I will hang back and
you have a
kind of cast my head down. Yeah. I'll pull out
I mean, when you ask that, I say.
Marker.
Yeah.
Because that will set her on the wrong path. Yeah, right off the bat, right? She will.
Don't you have a device that can change your form?
Yes. All right. I will be ready to use that if necessary. But I unfortunately took the form of a weird
creature.
Pet, so
Beyond
don't know if that will be good or bad.
If your mentor is researching all of these creatures and things, would she not know already what stage you're in and be understanding of it? Or did you leave on bad terms?
Slightly bad terms. We didn't have the best of relationship at the end. But if you're suggesting I take the likeness of this creature to intrigue her, I will follow that advice.
I see.
All right,
I do not know what will intrigue her, but I'm interested in finding out. No, not that. Not yet. She says to herself. Well, out loud, but you hear her say that.
And by now, Soul has like noticed that Octavia keeps whispering, and he starts to kind of like look around to see if he can see anybody that she's talking to.
Her just shrugs. I don't know.
Used to it.
You notice that? You see that?
There is a distinct and palpable sense of being in the presence of something otherworldly and I'm trying to of
I just farted.
Of immense of immense psychic substance. You know, it's just like you're in the presence of something, and it definitely is radiating out from that the amber monolith.
Oh. Thinking
Yeah,
about
Nelly.
Octavia's ghost. I was like he who walks
Oh.
behind. From
Yeah, right.
Dresden.
you're looking for the ghost, but you don't. You just see the amber thing.
The rest
Uh,
of us aren't trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Courage is going to be like so relieved that we finally found the person we came here for, get her and leave. And so she just starts running forward with her little claws waving.
Yeah.
Umali!
I will
Umali!
calmly follow in suit.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
All right. And is Zorak, are you going to change your appearance?
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach openly, she seems snapped away from her work and looks up from one of the workbenches, kind of curiously staring out. Stands up straight and kind of approaches towards you with almost an arrogance, swagger, even. These 9 metallic hands sort of swirl around her. Some of them have 5 digits, look humanoid. Others of them 4, some more. And at least one of them has what looks to be tendrils or flexible fingers. And approaching towards the edge of her camp, she looks at you. If you've made it this far, then I assume that you have either come to stop me or assist me. If you had just stopped me, then why would you approach like this? Never mind. It is of little consequence. State your
Yeah.
business.
Where have you
Things
been?
not-
You look good. Do you have more hands? I feel like you have more hands this time.
I am not here to
Like,
for
gives
either
Courage a weird look.
or
Good.
not here to stop you nor aid you. Unless there's something in return for me.
There's nothing here for you. Everything here, she like gestures to the vastness of the cavern, is mine by rights. I have worked hard for it to unlock its secrets. You are too late.
For
I
what?
have no need for it.
The moment of change is at hand. If you wish to stick around
Oh,
and
I don't
say
like
it,
change.
you could watch it. But the great change will happen regardless. And the longer she talks, the more just unhinged she starts to seem.
From what we've
You
gathered,
don't need to insight that one.
yeah, from what we've gathered, this entire place does not want you to do what you are doing. Can you explain that, at least?
Suppose I will try to put it in simple terms.
Oh, please do.
This place holds great power of another world eons ago. This place was the center of a great civilization. They were able to shape the very world, the very stars, bend them to their will. This power I have worked hard to unlock, and it is mine alone. It's around this point that she notices the appearance that Zorak has taken on, and sort of seems to cast both a familiar and suspicious look. What are you doing outside of your position as guardian?
We have asked it to aid us.
To aid you.
Yes.
And
We
find-
too wield great power.
She seems amused by that. I think not. This power here is like nothing you have ever seen before.
Then why does your guardian aid us?
Curious, why does it aid you? And like,
I just told you.
go to make me a deception roll for that one.
I also made this, and I gesture towards my liquid form.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's like, look how powerful we are. Can I help?
Right. Just kind of like is curious about it.
Do we have advantage on this?
Can I assist him in any way? Yeah.
So you are trying to, you're trying to deceive. You're trying to withhold information. That sounds like something that is related to the mysterious rune power that is active at the moment.
Yeah,
So,
trickery.
Good. My first roll was a 1. Okay, so I got a 15.
15. She seems momentarily satisfied with it. Hmm. Well, no matter. If the Guardian has left the threshold, then the sleepwalkers must have been dealt with permanently. If you are here to witness the ascension of the monolith and my apotheosis, then you just have to watch. Do not get in my way. And she seems like she's about ready to go back to her work now that she's, at the very least, convinced for the time being that you're not a threat.
Sol will glance over at Octavia and encourage and Zuruk and kind of actually give them, he kind of drops his whole, woe was me kind of thing and kind of parts his hair. And so they see him with both eyes for the first time. And he kind of goes, his eyes are a little wide and he actually looks a little worried. It's like,
yeah, I mean, do we need to insight, or is it clear that she is not, she has bad intentions?
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's her surface that she's projecting, which is arrogance, power, and sort of like she doesn't really consider you of consequence. But if you think there's something else going on, you can certainly attempt an insight check against her.
She seems different, not as nice. I feel like I wouldn't have come all this way for someone so not nice.
Yeah, she used to live in Karakara, then was like the village wizard, arcanist, right? And she was stern, didn't seem to put up with people who she thought was like lesser in intellect than her, but she wasn't like, mustache twirling, arrogant kind of way. Her demeanor's definitely changed.
Power has a tendency to change people.
Yeah. Did somebody roll insight?
Yeah, I will roll insight.
Okay.
15 plus 4, 19.
Yeah, you get the distinct impression that she's waiting for you to lower your guard, that she doesn't seem like she's satisfied with the answers you gave her and is looking for a moment to catch you off guard.
Well, Zaruk actually was already thinking all these things, that she is just different, and he's a little worried that she's been, phased by this power. So he would like to, under the guise of this likeness that she thinks is a guardian perhaps on her side, cast a suggestion spell that she walk away and come back with us to the surface where we can all talk nicely, have some coffee, start off with just walk away and come with us.
Walk away and come with us. All right.
I need some coffee.
Yeah.
Are you rolling for that? Because I think we have something like your hinder, delay, like that kind of falls underneath that, right?
Yeah, that would.
So wisdom 13 DC
13.
for her, I guess.
Yeah, what was that?
Trickery. Oh yeah, those cards have changed.
Oh yeah,
At some point, trickery was in play, but I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, the revealing knife and the mysterious rune are in play. So revelation, discovery, etc., which played in your favor with the insight, and then mysterious rune is magic, mystery, wordless communication. So the hindering one is already passed. But yeah,
he is casting a spell. Would that not fall under the?
He is casting a spell. That is that's very true. All right, where'd my cursor go? Give me just a second. We will reveal and see exactly what's going to happen. All right. You said your DC is 13?
That's correct.
Okay. She kind of looks up at you. I don't. It has been some time since I've seen the surface. And what's happening here is you cannot stop. But I wonder why you would try to get me to go up there. And she seems like she's about to it seems like almost like your spell has worked. and she's approaching a little closer, but there's something off about her.
Mhm.
Well, my order needs you and your magical abilities.
Hmm.
So I've been seeking you for a long time, and I found your former apprentice. Come with us. Leave this behind. This seems to be a vault locked deep in the earth.
It is. And it is
Usually
here.
those things need to stay buried.
You cannot stop it. And more soon will not be locked beneath anything. In fact, soon all will be locked beneath it. And as she's walking towards you, you can see that she's her deceptions have gotten less and less effective, and what was once sort of dismissiveness, is now turning to a kind of violent covetousness, as she's like going to protect what is hers, and you can tell that she means to do you harm, and she's about to fight you. If anybody, go ahead, Courage.
Courage is gonna walk forward and be like, I don't what's going on. It's your remember your little buddy in the village? It's Courage. Used to come to you for potions of bravery so I could go down into the mines. And she's like creeping forward to try to like grab her hand, but then she trips on a rock and accidentally like jams into her with the side and stabs her with a short sword.
Right.
Oh no!
Okay.
Courage is the scariest one among us.
Right. Yeah. So in an out of game sense, she barely passed her save against suggestion, and just the attempt to protect what is hers is overridden y'all's deceptions, and it is indeed combat. So does anybody we'll resolve Courage's action here in just a second, but is anybody else doing just one thing, casting a spell, making one attack, anything like that?
I would like to I guess cast Bane on our lovely new friend here.
Okay. So so Octavius casting Bane.
Yeah, casting mage armor on myself.
Okay. All right.
Apparently I didn't do that previously.
And anything that Soul's doing?
Actually, I'm going to use this new relic here. He could just kind of like flick his wrist out, and there's like a tendril, looks like he has like a little ribbon of black fabric around his wrist. And when he flicks it out, it extends out into a short sword. I assume I have to be proficient with the sword that it provides, so I'll pick short sword.
Yeah, I would assume.
But yeah, it just creates a sword that'll last for like 4 hours.
Sweet. Okay. Do you do anything else, or you're just activating the sword?
Yeah, I want to do a short action, so I just want to have it ready.
Okay. So all of your reactions, or all of your actions, take place first. She is going to be doing more than one thing, so she'd be going last anyway. And Courage, we can resolve your attack.
Okay, so with a 22.
Oh yeah, that
Courage's short sword stabs for 7 points of piercing damage.
Mhm.
Yeah, piercing damage. And then she kind of like tries to shift her body. She's like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh no. And accidentally stabs her with her other sword in her offhand. What does a 15 hit?
A 15 just misses. AC is 16.
Okay. All right. But I guess that doesn't pierce her armor. Thank goodness.
Right. So the first one, you said the first one was 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. She looks at you with, there's no accident. Courage is your name, but I think deceit should be your name. And she flicks her wrist, and one of the floating hands mimics the gesture, and out of seeming nowhere, she becomes wrapped in these ribbons of dark matter of some kind, and the structure behind her sort of dissolves away, and it looks like she's got these spaces on her, almost like stripes of some kind, where there's no light reflected, there's no anything, and she seems to be wrapping herself in a type of supernatural darkness to protect herself. And then with her second action, she is going to lash out at Courage. And you see that her hand is wreathed in a dark purplish energy that's emanating from this kind of like ring that she is wearing.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. My little buddy Courage.
Oh, does the 13 hit you?
It does not.
All right. Yeah, you feel as though it would have tried to
base
sap your life energy. Oh,
Take effect
oh yeah, thank you. What's your DC for
12.
12?
So just make a charisma save.
She didn't pass. She did not pass. Okay, so she's at minus D4 to
yes,
attacks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, before you attack her.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'll let me know, and I might need to be reminded of that the next time.
I will try.
Okay, so she's taken her 2 actions. That's the end of the first round. Anybody taking a fast action, just doing one thing?
I would like to bless all my peoples if I can.
Is this the second round?
Oh, never mind. I'm not
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
do
the
that
second
because I've
round.
been going.
Oh yeah, Bane's
Oh,
concentration.
I will. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
just
second
one
round.
action. On my turn, I just start to grovel, cower, and beg. It's a kobold thing. And she just like kind of crouches down. She's like, "I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Please put that scary dark matter away. Don't hurt my friends. We'll go away. I didn't want to come down in the first place." And that means that until the end of my next turn, my allies gain advantage on attacks against enemies within 10 feet of me that can see me.
Nice.
Ooh,
Okay,
nice.
very good. She is within melee range of pretty much everybody. Y'all are very close to each other. So anybody who would like to make a melee attack, you don't have to do anything else to do that. So Courage did that. Anybody else doing just one thing?
I'm going to use a Cipher on her. Array.
Okay. Go for it. The ray of force.
Right now, do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and resolve it.
All right. She's got a DC of 13, which is a dexterity save. And yeah, I guess I either hit or miss.
Okay.
And it's force damage. Bludgeoning damage.
Jeez. All right. So that is she gets a, let's see, no, that is an 11. Wow. She rolled an 11 for her dexterity save.
Oh, all right. 5d8. 8. Only 14 points.
Okay. There we go. So she's hit with the ray of force, and it is kind of like staggers her back. And she seems
Turns out, toss it away over the edge.
Right. She's kind of surprised that it hit her. All right. Anybody else doing just one thing?
Nope.
All right.
I'm doing a long action.
Okay.
I guess I will attack her.
Okay.
I guess you said we're in melee range right now.
You are. Yeah.
So I guess I'll do it with my mace, which is not my best attacking. But so I get advantage on it.
Yeah.
So good thing I got advantage. 16, 19.
19 is going to be a hit.
And then if that is a hit, then 3 damage.
Okay.
3 bludgeoning damage. I rolled really bad.
All right. So we got that. She is taking a long action or a slow turn as well. So Pruitt, Soul will get to go first. Looks like she's being mobbed up on by Courage and Octavia. Really just Octavia.
Yes, Soul begins to let the darkness from his own soul out, and it kind of wreathes the sword that he has now in that same kind of negative light fire. And so he's going to go in with a sword strike, and then he's going to follow it up with some radiant sunbolts at point blank range. Right. I want to see what this looks like.
Let's bring it.
So yeah, that first one is going to be like a 24 to hit on the sword strike, and because that is a relic, I maximize the damage.
Okay.
So it just that does 10 damage.
10.
The first strike, and then the flame itself begins to leap out from the end of the sword to attack her. And does a 16 hit?
16 hits.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So the first one hits and the second one hits. So that is going to be a further.
So as you
Sweet.
as you move with that second attack, one of her hands moves in front of it and hits instead of hitting her. So it sort of like knocks it out of
Oh, she got a shield.
the sky, kind of knocks it out of floating around her, but she does not take the damage for that second attack.
Okay, so that go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, so that 8 radiant damage is nullified, and then the second of my attacks after spending that key point hit also. So that's that's 6 more radiant damage from the second of my sun bolts.
Okay. And what were we gonna say?
So in a short action or whatever, does a bonus action can we also do a bonus action, or would that be a long?
That's a slow action. Yeah.
Okay. So in the future, we'll note that.
Yeah. Basically, if you want to do more than just one thing, it's resolved after the people that just want to do one thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she's gonna go, and that last attack from Soul kind of changes things up. One of her hands takes out what looks to be this like patch of some kind of material and lays it over one of her wounds. And she's using a Cipher for that. And let's see what else she does. Hit her Soul. She throws out her actual hand, and you can see darts of magical energy form in the air and streak out unerringly towards you, hitting you without needing to roll or save. You know what's happening. It is a upcast magic missile.
So I can't deflect that.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you deflect my magic missiles. That's gonna be 15 force damage.
Ooh.
As 5 of them crash into you. I've got my window minimized, so I don't know who is this question.
Soul's hair is tossed to and fro as he takes the impact.
Was someone about to ask a question? Okay. That makes it the end of round 2. As you are sort of fighting her, you can see that there is movement in one of the mundane tents that was around the structure, which has now disappeared. And it looks like there's something in there shuffling or perhaps walking out, but you're not sure what it is now. Top of round 3, anybody taking a fast action, just doing one thing?
I'm going to repeat what she did. Not quite as upcast, but I'll cast 4 magic missiles her way.
Go ahead and roll that.
Yeah, I only have 1 d4. Oh no, I have 2 d4s. Here we go. Same amount as last time, 14 points.
14 points. Nice.
Let's see, that's my second. I like how this keeps track of my spells. My slots.
And I'm gonna take a fast action as well, and reach within my drow heritage and the fire that is within, and I'm gonna cast fairy fire and try to catch her and not us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Will someone do me a favor? Does Bane affect my saving throws as well as my attack rolls?
Yes, I believe so, but I will double check for you just to make sure.
Basically like Nega Bless.
Attack roll or saving
Nega Bless.
throw.
Gotcha. What's your DC for Pruitt?
Right. I forgot that my intelligence isn't crazy. So yeah, it's a dex save, DC 10.
Okay. She shrugs off the attempt to outline her form.
Okay.
So yeah, anybody else? Any Courage or Octavia? Y'all taking
a slow action?
Taking slow actions. Okay. She's taking one as well. No. The only thing that is taking a fast action though is a creature that comes out of the tent. It's not attacking, just shuffling along, and it's one of those mummified, kind of desiccated corpses, filled with the lace, or sort of like the Arcana metal lace, and with bulging metallic organs. And it shuffles over towards you, but does nothing else. So yeah, Octavia and Courage, you can resolve your actions.
You can go first.
Okay. Courage sees this like hulking figure approaching. She's like, okay, we can still de-escalate this. Everybody calm down. Look, putting my sword down. And as she's waving her sword around, it like actually accidentally loses grip, and she's like trying to catch it. And as she catches it, she lunges forward and stabs. Attempts to stab with pack tactics. We'll roll with advantage, and I got a natural 20.
Nice.
So also with my sneak attack, that's 66 plus 3. So 7, 8, 14, 20, 21, 24 points of piercing damage. And then with her bonus action, she panics and reaches with the other hand to try to grab that sword, forgetting she still has a short sword in that hand. And with a very high number, a 24, will just deal an additional 6 damage. That's piercing.
Okay, so that's 30 damage total?
Yes.
Yeah, she looks really hurt. Well past what would be called bloodied in another edition. All right, that's Courage's turn as you land a crit sneak attack. Sweet. Octavia?
I'm going to cure wounds on my lovely friend's soul.
Okay.
So that is 2d8.
Positivity burns, but he accepts it.
Plus my spell casting. You have 14 for heals, and then I am also going to, as a bonus action, cast my spiritual weapon.
Okay. Very good. You make an attack with it when you cast it.
I don't think I can cast. I don't think I can attack when I cast it, right?
I think you can.
Either way, I think we can do it this time.
Okay. 1d8. I need to roll the melee attack first. Sure. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with your spell attack modifier.
So 17.
21
hits. To hit.
21, yeah, that's gonna hit.
And not bad. And a 6.
Sweet.
8 damage.
8 damage. All right. Let's see. She's looking pretty hurt on this onslaught, and on her turn, she is going to she teleports back out of melee range. She's about medium range back, so anybody other than Soul would need to use a dash action to get to her in melee. And she takes something out of a pocket of hers and tosses it towards the group. And I need everybody to make me DC 17. That is right, 17 dexterity saving throws as this detonates with a force of gravity.
Oh, gravitron bomb.
17. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad I have a +6.
52.
Passed.
I roll a 13 and I get +2 to my dex saves. So, okay. 15.
15. Yep. How about Courage and Zeruak?
15 for
22.
Zeruak.
15. So okay. So Octavia and Zeruak failed their saves, and then Courage and Soul, those monks and rogues, are going to pass. So everyone is knocked prone. Pass, fail, everybody's knocked prone. And so full damage for Octavia and Zeruak is going to be 14 bludgeoning, and then Courage and Soul is going to take half that. And Octavia and Zeruak, you are restrained until the start of your next turn, which, let's see. Really, at this point, it would prevent you from making like opportunity attacks. You would have disadvantage on further dexterity saving throws.
So prone and restrained, and then how much damage did I take?
14.
14. Oof, that's a lot.
Oh no, Octavia!
And then, so that was her bonus action, one of her actions, and then she's going to use another to cast a spell. And for any viewers out there, both current or later on YouTube, yes, we are casting more than one spell around. Number one, because it's awesome.
Ooh,
And number
what kind
two,
of damage is it?
it's bludgeoning.
Okay.
Number two, because I get to make monsters however I want. And if I want them to cast 2 spells in a turn, they will. And she summons some sort of swirling mass of electricity-filled air between you and her. And so getting to her, you would have to pass through her storm sphere.
Those
Nice.
extra hands. Makes sense that she can cast extra spells.
Certainly, right. Yeah, that's the end of her turn. Yeah, she's putting those extra hands to work. But every time she does something with them, one of them goes inert.
Nice. We can outlast her. Well,
New round 4.
so from the ground, Soul pulls out his detonation of frost, knowing a little something about the elements and what cold does to electricity. Basically, it does have an effect on it. And so I'm going to try to catch this. Can I catch the sphere and her in the detonation?
You'd have to throw something through the sphere to get her to begin with. Like it's like this giant thing.
In that case, I'm going to try to dissipate the storm sphere with the frost, if possible. If you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, I'll let you treat it as a dispel magic effect. What's the DC for that detonation?
I never got the. I don't think I got the info. Was that wasn't in the ciphers?
Yeah, I don't think it was in the.
Because that was rolled before that.
Yeah, look at it real quick. Here's what I'll say: if it's the same DC, then we'll treat it as if it was the same spell level, and then just cancel it out.
The detonation of soap is DC 13.
DC 13. Yeah, I imagine so. Because some of the detonation she had was 17. We'll look at it real quick. Mostly it's a matter of do you need to roll or is it just going to work?
This is why if you have an electric car, if it's extreme cold, it'll sap the battery a little faster.
This looks like DC 15, so you will need to roll. Basically, you're treating it as if this is a level 4 effect. You're casting a level 3 effect. So you don't really have a caster level.
Okay.
So give me an intelligence check. Just roll a d20 for me.
Okay, I rolled a 14.
Roll a 14.
D20.
Okay. That would otherwise be enough to dispel a level 4 effect. So yeah, you toss the detonation of frost into it, and the two sorts of energies kind of like cancel each other out. There's the flickering of the lightning, and then it dissipates. And then everything else is left.
Imagine like the Dragon Ball Z scene.
Yeah.
That's my canon.
Yeah.
Hashtag headcanon. All right, so that's that's a fast action for Soul. Anybody else taking a fast action?
I'm gonna drink one of those 2 potions we came in with because I'm nigh unto death with my wizard hit points.
Sure.
With the fast action, we can't move at all, right?
No, that's just you're just doing the one thing.
Gotcha.
Anybody else?
Nope.
All right. I'm taking 2 slow actions with mine. So any PCs taking slow turns can go ahead.
Right. Courage saw Octavia get really hurt. And it's like, no, Octavia. And she turns and she has like cobalt angry eyebrows now. And she's going to start running towards, she's gonna use her bonus action to dash.
Certainly.
And then she's going to purposefully do a stab.
Ooh.
What?
Do a stab.
Purposeful stab. A 17, which I believe hits.
Not if she uses her reaction, which she does, and a metal
okay.
hand knocks it out of the way. Her AC is now 18.
Rude.
Well, then I hurt with words and I just say, I'm not your little buddy anymore.
You never were.
Oh no, it hurts back. That's my turn then.
Okay, Octavia.
I am going to do debating like what I think I will attack with my think a sacred flame, and then I'm also going to do a healing word as a bonus action on. I think I wasn't the only one that got hit by that, right?
No, I think everybody got hit by the detonation.
Who looks the most hurt?
I don't know who looks the most hurt.
I was probably the most hurt, but I put some healing on myself, so I'm
Okay.
up more than half my current hit points.
Courage is okay so far.
I'm a little hurt, but I'm fine.
Okay. So no one's really that hurt. I will
Yeah,
heal
I don't know.
myself then as a bonus action as well.
Certainly.
1d4.
And Sacred Flame's a dex save.
And Sacred Flame is... Yes, let me double check that for you. That is a dex save. 12.
Yeah, she passes that. She passes that with a 19.
Dang.
Get that magic out of here. Yeah, she's the ribbons of darkness around her seem to be protecting her from both physical attacks and magical attacks, it seems. All right, now it's her turn. The Cipher White, this sort of technologically animated creature. See, I think it's going to attack Soul because Courage had already run up and is therefore out of its melee range. And here we go. All right, Soul. It's going to hit. We'll see if it hits. And does a 14 hit and does a 16 hit.
AC is 16.
All right, so one of them is going to hit. I need you to make me a DC 10 Constitution saving throw in addition to taking this damage.
I got the save.
Okay, it's going to be 8 slashing, and you can tell that it is trying to infect you with some sort of microscopic, minuscule machinery which would hinder your muscles, aka paralyze you. But you fought it off. So
Don't we
that
have
was
a
that.
thing? Do we have a thing for that?
Whose thing?
I thought we had a cipher for that.
I don't know. I thought, not that I know of.
We have an Iron Tamer cipher, yeah, which would
it does.
deactivate nanobots in a region, in an area.
Sweet. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the document, so
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know
forgot.
all you
I'm
had.
restrained, so I probably couldn't do all that.
It's just till the start of your next turn. It's just a momentary, like,
Oh, okay.
it's more for like if you want.
So I
if
could
you're
have
trying
gotten
to
up, and I'm not. I don't have to be a pro. Okay.
Yeah.
I could use my movement for that. Cool.
Certainly. Yeah. It's more there to, if she wants to run past you, you know, get an attack, or if she wants to drop another dexterity save on you, you have disadvantage. All right, so she's gonna go, and she's looking really hurt, and she sort of like takes this greenish, yellowish kind of crystal off of a table and smashes it, and more towards y'all. So Courage does not have to make a save against this, but everybody else needs to make me a let's see, a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, as the air is filled with a sickening radiance.
Oh
Is
no.
it necrotic?
It is not. It's actually radiant damage,
Oh,
which I think might help.
I have defenses to radiant. I am resistant.
So you'll take less damage from it, but
Yeah.
the con save's still the same.
Natural 15.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got the, with my bonus for con save, I got the DC exactly.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
That's, so you got 20, you got 6. Okay, so everybody passed. Don't think anything's going to happen. Actually, I didn't even need to let y'all roll yet, as it only is on the start of your turn. But yeah, you can just feel this sapping, innervating radiation start to leak out of this broken crystal. So initially, you're not affected. We'll keep those
Ooh, I
saving
like that.
throws for the start of your next turns. But it is impossible for anybody to be invisible. And if you stay in this too long, you can tell that it's going to sap you of your vitality, aka start racking up exhaustion levels. So that's her one action, and then she is going to. Oof, man. She's going to take her second
Exhaustion
attack.
sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I have had it a few times. It is not fun.
Yeah, it does. All right, here is the second thing she's going to do. She's going to cast another magic missile because I don't want to have to worry about the dice telling me I don't hit you guys. Courage.
Yes.
She's going to attack you.
Grr.
You're standing right there, and she just hits you with these magic missiles, and it's going to be 21 force damage as 5 of them hit you.
Okay. I have 3 hit points left, and Courage's bravado is lower.
I mean, like she looks similarly hurt, right? And so you 2 of you are just like bruised and battered, staggering,
Just like pushing
right
each other.
Right. You get out of here. And she's going to use her final action to teleport again. She is at the far end of the protrusion that's sticking out of the wall, but is similarly out of melee range of everybody. And we're top around 5. Anybody taking a fast action?
I do want to just remind, did you make sure to keep in mind the minus 1d4?
She has not made any attacks or saves
Okay.
yet, so she might. It's almost as if she knows she's been cursed.
Makes
It's a
sense.
bane.
She's intelligent.
Now that she's teleported again, how far away is she from the original spot? Like, say where Soul is.
Soul would need to make a dash action to get out there. She's at long range from where y'all were originally. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How far would we have to move to get out of this radiation from this crystal?
If you move back, you don't. It's just like I moved back out of it. But if you want to get closer to her, you would have to dash. You're sort of like at the far edge of it. Easy to back out, but to get to her would be you'd have to pass all the way through it.
Can I use a mage hand to just flick the crystal off the edge so we can all just...
You
Or
can,
is that-
but you get the impression that the radiation has already escaped the crystal. And in fact, y'all already had all rolled your...
We all have health potions too, so you could drink a health potion, Courage. Don't forget.
I will back up out of it. I still have one spell that will be 120 feet, so hopefully that's still close enough.
Yeah, that's that would be extreme range. So yes, you'll still hit her. So you're not affected by the radiation yet, then, because
I'm gonna take a slow action.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Anybody else doing fast?
No,
Is mine slow because I moved?
Yeah. If all you're doing is moving, that's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Then I cast another magic missile at her, and
Yeah, it doesn't sound like anybody's taking a fast action, so y'all can go ahead and resolve y'all's. Either way, she's taking slow, so you guys get to go first. Casting the magic missile at her.
13 points.
So-
Subpar.
So that 13, however, is enough. As they hit her, she sort of like staggered one after the other, and that last one knocks her down. She has not fallen off the protrusion, but Courage, you're close enough to see that her breath is labored and slow. She was already really hurt to begin with. She's not getting up.
Thank goodness. Is the other creature, the big, like, corpse-like creature, is it still approaching?
It's
menacingly?
in melee with Soul.
Okay. Then Courage is going to use her bonus action to start dashing back to where her friends are. And I guess I will drink a healing potion.
Okay.
As my action.
Okay, sure thing.
And Soul is going to drink a healing potion. As he's getting up, I'm going to use patient defense to give myself the dodge action, and I'm going to move away from this beast and out of the radiation.
Sure. All right, it will attempt to attack you.
Is the radiation gone because she's
not concentrating on it anymore?
Yeah.
It's fading. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It misses you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a threat anymore.
Get back that many.
I didn't know it didn't do anything if you passed your save. Now I'm grumpy. Such a great spell. Okay, yeah, it tried to swipe at you. You didn't. It does not hit you with a 7, I'm sure. And were you doing anything else? Patient defense and move, and then
Just in design.
didn't catch that.
Away. Yeah.
Okay, you were breaking up there for
Yeah,
a
you're
second.
breaking up.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying that the patient defense is him just getting the hair out of his eye so he can effectively dodge, and he moves away and chugs his potion.
All right. So yeah, if anybody else hasn't gone yet,
I haven't gone yet.
Okay. Yeah, Octavia's.
Can I get within 60 feet of her?
If all you did was move, you could do that.
Yeah. Oh, if all I did was move?
Yeah, she's like 120 feet away or something. She's extreme range away. Hold myself to my own house rules. So yeah, if you just wanted to book it to the end of this place, you could get to her. But that'd be all you could do.
What if I sprouted wings and flew towards her?
That'd make it certainly easier to do. You wouldn't have to worry so much about keeping your balance, that kind of thing.
And cooler.
And be much cooler for real.
So yeah, like
Easily get
in this foggy mist of like gross stuff. Like, well, actually, it's radiant, which I like. So
Yeah.
I like almost like she absorbs it, and like the wings sprout out from outside of our Octavia, and you see these like gorgeous, like almost like pale blue or purple wings that sprout out.
Mhm.
And she kind of flaps, and some of the air kind of like moves around her, and she swirls up out of the grossness and flies towards her.
Yes. That's really cool. Very cool. So you're trying to like, I think I didn't hear part of that. So you're flying towards her, and then she's.
I'm just trying to. I would like to do something else, but if I can't, because obviously I use that action to get closer to her.
Okay, sure. She's not quite dead yet. She's technically dying, so it's not like there's still a little bit of time to do something else with her, talk to her, get to her. Okay, so there is one of these creatures left. We'll go ahead and switch out of initiative and just sort of do mop up. If as long as one of you is like fighting it, 2 of you are fighting it, then it's not really a threat in that sense. So we will kind of drop back out of initiative, and
Courage will do purposeful stabs and just be like, leave my friends alone.
Sure. Courage can handle it. Its AC is not that great. It doesn't have too many hit points. You find yourself on this protrusion, having dealt with the threats that you were facing, and for the moment, the silence is only broken by the kind of sort of unworldly singing or music that emanates from the amber monolith. This close, you can see that there are tiny little creatures or something, or machines maybe, that sort of fly around it, and you can tell that there is something inside of it, but what it is and the details of it, other than odd machine shaped forms, it's difficult to tell. Umeli is dying. There's a possibility you could save her or wait for her to perish. It's your choice.
We should bring her back to the surface.
Yeah.
So she look like she's no longer like affected by the place, or
No, she still seems like if you get close to her and interact with her, she's still like angry and sort of like would resist if she were capable of it, but the fight's knocked out of her. She's not in any condition to put up resistance.
okay.
Tell us how to stop this, and we will bring you back from the brink.
There's no way to stop this. the events have been set in motion.
I beg to differ, and I'm gonna break out this iron tamer.
Yeah.
And just see if it will help with this, because it has a radius of 60 feet.
Sure.
And it suppresses the activity of dangerous nanobots.
Uh-huh.
They're immediately negated and destroyed. And it suppresses it for 10 hours. So if there is an actual point of like a portal or whatever beneath this monolith that she is interacting with, we'll see if this iron tamer will work on it.
Yeah, so as you use the iron tamer, the entire protrusion shudders and shifts, and that machine that was next to the wall in it, you see sparks flying off of it. You have a moment to get off this thing as it just kind of tilts and is about to fall into the chasm.
Oh, suppose we better book it. I already live in a pit of despair. I don't need another one.
Yeah, just you've can. Most of you are still like you're closer to the chasm's edge than you are to the other side, except for I think Octavia, who is flying. Right, that lasts like a minute, I think.
Yeah, last minute.
Yeah, so you could rescue. Like courage is easy enough to rescue. So you rescue like courage and someone else. Like I'll leave it up to y'all how you deal with this problem. But it's about to fall.
I will grab the 2 that don't have magic options.
Okay.
I will drop my base teleporter of bounding as you pick me up to Zurak.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that will allow me to get out then.
Yeah. And then otherwise, Octavia is going to grab soul and courage. Zurak's going to use the teleporter.
Yeah, Clyde, I swoop down and pick him up.
Very good. Very good. You managed to make it off the protrusion as it tumbles into the chasm. Her research, all the machines, Umeli herself falling into this abyss. The monolith continues unchanging in its pulses and music, but a sense of ominousness radiates from it as you stand there on the edge. And I think that's where we're going to call this one today, as our time draws to a close and the strange machines which power this vault have already been set in motion. I'll leave our heroes with a chance to give us a short little epilogue if they'd like, what their follow-up actions would be. But the world has changed, and the monolith will make its great change very soon. So yeah, what would your characters do in the immediate aftermath of this, do you think?
On
Zerua.
their way. Oh, Zurich, go first.
Oh, I was just going to say, Zeruk, if this change actually happens, weirdly, he will try to study the change and try and follow the research of Umeli, but try not to go and, try not to get caught up in the situation as she apparently did.
Yeah, the monolith emerges from the surrounding hills and begins to work its changes upon the landscape in an inscrutable manner. But you could tell it's not nearly as bad as it could have been if Umeli was directing the course of the change.
So we've had a modifying effect on this transition, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes. If she had been able to do this, is maybe something that Zurak learns in the time after as he studies it. If she had been successful, the region within maybe hundreds of miles would have been plunged into reality-altering chaos. As it stands, something has changed, and something deeper in the earth is sort of fueling this monolith, and new creatures are spotted in the surrounding countryside, new magics discovered and the like, but it's not nearly as cataclysmic as it could have been.
I think Sol would take this opportunity to return to his brethren and sistren back at the monastery and tell them of this great change, in that the possibility of finding technology from this other world to bring about the real change that is needed, which is to plunge it into the darkness that they live every day. But to make that a reality for everyone is possible. So that's what he would do.
I think the monolith might whisper dreams in your sleep that it is possible.
Oh, well, then he would maybe become a similar type of obsessed that Ulele was, but for a different cause. That I can change the world with this thing, but it's, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Courage, Octavia.
On their way out, Courage stops at that black pool and tells the liquid Courage, no, you have to stay. I have seen what power can do to somebody, and I am not ready for this responsibility. And she leaves kind of looking back, and the little liquid Courage is there. But when she returns to the village, every once in a while, she feels like she's being watched. She can't shake that feeling.
Very good. Very good.
Anywhere you go, you need a little liquid courage. Come on.
There it is. And Octavia.
I think Octavia is a little frustrated because she spent all this time here and did not get the answer she was looking for. I was like this close to doing Toll of the Dead on her, but then they wanted to talk to her. I was gonna like try to like interrogate her to get the answers out of her. So I think she continues her search to find like this vengeance that she has for this ghost or the spirit that's haunting her still, and to win back the love of her life.
Very good. I think that in the aftermath of all of this, the reports and incidents of people experiencing similar things that Octavia's experienced increases. You'd certainly be able to gain some more insight into that as Octavia puts these events behind her. Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Appreciate my players playing, even if it is a little bit hurried and rushed. If any of this intrigued you, seemed awesome, interesting, the adventure itself. And did we get our goal? What was our final
We went
goal?
way over the goal.
1,086. 88?
Excellent.
86.
Awesome. That is great, guys. That is really cool. Thank you very much. And yeah, if you guys are interested in this, I think you should pick up Arcana of the Ancients, because the adventure itself, the Hills of Crooked Sleep, is much longer, much more involved. And there's a lot of cool stuff we didn't get to. So yeah, check that out. And we really appreciate you guys donating, showing up, hanging out with us. These funds will really help out the Foundation's Communities Relief Fund and the Austin EMS Relief Fund. Foundation community, especially Emma and I lived in one of their homes for a while. They help out with housing and the like, keeping it affordable for people, and Austin is in need of affordable housing. So it was a really helping out with us there, right? Yeah, I think now's a good time for our players to tell us where we can find you if you'd like, anything else, anything we didn't get to in the intro. And yeah, any more from y'all? It's okay if there isn't.
I don't have anything else.
That's okay.
And a little under 3 hours, I'm going to be playing more D&D on my channel,
Yes.
twitch.tv/Lysa Penrose, and it's just me and my husband. We're playing one of the adventures from Eyes Unclouded, the Studio Ghibli-inspired D&D anthology.
Awesome.
So that should be fun.
Excellent. More D&D. It's always good.
I wanted to look at that.
Yeah. I hadn't heard of it. I'm not going to have to check it out now. But yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And I think if there's nothing else, we'll see y'all later.
See you on tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Warhammer Wrath and Glory. I play Warhammer Wrath and Glory at like 10 a.m.
yes.
PDD. And I'm also playing Good Strong Hands early in the morning if you're like up to waking up at 6:30 a.m., which is a new game that just got launched with Kickstarter, and they went like way over their goal, which was really awesome. So
Nice.
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Lots of
Excellent.
people
Sorry for
post
cutting you off there, but yes, go check those out.
It's all right. I'm not cut until the last plug goes.
Thank you, Hecubus. Thank you. I trust.